the boost up to see if they can't get a deagle shot off of Nikodos. I can't get anything off fast, I tell you that much. Config looking for the
I don't
next.
think Rez has missed a shot.
He's
just assassinating.
Looking snappy to start this. And I mean, once you see the first player danger panel, right? Or on the steps, it's like, okay, look for the boosts. They've got pistols. They're going to try this. Well, that's a great start for NIP.
Doesn't get a lot better than this, and I do think Vertigo was the wrong pick, but this helps justify them quite a lot already. Looking great. No AWP in play for Head Trick, so not quite a full bonus. I mean, they got full utility. It's just one MP9 from Config. I'm sure he can rummage up a decent angle, a decent fight. Rez top spawn is going to go down. Smoke is in behind it. Both smokes exchanged, so even Stevens here, and NIP are pretty intent to hold on to this control. They're actually playing free ramp, so they've now taken B lobby. They're calling nothing's there, and they're saying, we're not scared to load up A with numbers. We don't have time soon.
Presence in mid as well being shown from Config. Sort of dance between these two positions, using utility to reposition, shift himself around. Broline collects a kill. There we go. Right down the ramp. This is going to soften up the approach wherever it does come in. And Fnatic have yet to really make any impression on this, right? They haven't taken control. They've denied the early util.
What actually happened there on ramp? Because it looked like Brian was just jiggling. And
it
then
was either a smoke fade or just a spam kill.
I don't think it was... I think Nikodos has peaked. Maybe he expected the one-way smoke to still be up or something, but that's a pretty cheap entry to give up. They haven't gained any ground. It's not like they've got any valuable information to make a play off. Config is starting to push mid, and if he gets in behind, this is going to be a nightmare. The only saving grace here for Fnatic is that NIP right now are leaning the wrong way. It's only Rez on B.
Yeah, but Config is about to figure this out. Now the utility's coming over, they're going to have a fast flank on. Rez has been so good. The Molotov's going to make him so uncomfortable, but no one's watching for this. No one is watching for Config. They don't expect this timing. He's dropped the bomb. He's held 2 up. They killed a player who's already up on site. They have to spend so much time just going back to fight Config. 10 seconds. They don't have the time. Alan, they don't have the clock. Much less the ability to fight through the round. Everyone's here. It's over. Fnatic had to punt with the remaining 2 players, and now they've got to be concerned about losing them after time.
I think they're going to be okay. But it's not a good situation to be in. The teammates cannot invest here. Best case is... well, you could buy, but it is... it's pick your poison. Your money's either out of balance or you try and force out another buy right now. Neither decision is good. NIP have been practically flawless so far. We didn't quite see on board with Brolan, but that is a nightmare opening kill to give up from Nikodos, and the proactivity from NIP, the proactive decisions to take B early, then fight ramp, and there's so much movement. Config finds all that space in mid. It's just a disaster. Rez goes down early. Okay.
All right. Maximize the rifles. Fadeaway shot from Roy as well. All right, we're off to the races here in this very stumbling buy. It'd be great if you could stumble your way into a couple quick kills. That makes life all that much better. Config wants to retake some space, right? Because they're going to need something to operate off of now. So he wants a little bit of information, perhaps, to allow them to load up one angle. But they're pushing everything. They're pushing everything. And it's going to be mid that's under threat. Head Trick going into duel with a very wounded Mezzy. That he'll collect. He'll realize there's a lot of space here and get an upgrade in the rifle. But how quickly do they process mid? Because this is wide open right now. Alexi B's thinking about it. Alexi B's here in the nick of time, but he's going to have to do some great shooting. 2? Is that enough? It might be. Down to the 2-on-2. Pressure in towards B. They're separating, though. Crims could catch Head Trick here unawares. And if so, that just immediately funnels them in towards A. Head Trick has no idea. He has no idea. Crims patient, but there's not enough players for it. The bomb's down. Oh, no. Nico does. Unable to operate off of Crims' kill. Now puts the bomb in a... oh, Crims. Okay. All right. Nice catch. Little tactical crutch on the end of that. What did he see, Alan?
I think he just spammed it. I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. What a bizarre round. What a bizarre round. The boost on B is nice from Fnatic. Rez gets caught in transition. Ripper from Roy. 5 on 3, and they take a lot of time to make a decision. They see B and A control, and NIP were in a really great spot, actually, for a lot of that round, despite going down early. Brolan, early peek, flash is ineffective, and Nikodos punishes.
They just swing. They really just want to fight this. That's aggressive. They had no idea Nikodos was already up the scaffolding, so config down for the count. I mean, this should be a save, I think. Rez gonna give it a look in, but utility behind him. What can you possibly hope to do? Bullets peppering your position, tagging the Molotov to even go for a peek. Yeah, you gotta be out of here, Rez.
Off we go. Roland, some money. It's not going to be good for NIP. They don't have any loss. They only got 1,900 loss, so Hedru can drop 1, and I think they have to buy because they're so low on loss bonus. Presenting a lot of fights there on ramp. Nikodos must have had an excellent spawn because he was very wide, holding up into yellow, into the gap from the off, so that worked out for him, and Fnatic just kept throwing men over the trenches. They wanted to fight A so hard, and they could not win a single engagement.
Terrorists win.
I'll talk about momentum swinging on a dime. Does seem like we're going to get investment into this round. Headtrick dropping a rifle. Roland should be able to buy out. Config will be limited in some capacity. But this is an important one. Paw's going to come in. And this is going to be around... Could swing a lot. Fnatic crack through here.
Yeah, we're sorting out the buy right now. Config has dropped a Deagle. Okay. Could have got an SMG perhaps out. I think a quick talk about what utility they probably want to. See if Config uses this U2. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't go for a better weapon. So maybe there's a plan in mind, an aggressive take. I doubt they'll be flying out a gap this round. And Nikodos is another good spawn, so he might do just the same and hold against any aggression in that area.
Brolon really wants these aggro angles. This time there's actually a smoke for it. And that's maybe why a read on Roy is desire to get aggressive, and so Brolon will collect this time around. That's probably how the last peak was supposed to look. But no smoke made it a bit more exposed. Cheeky flashbangs from spawn, and look at the ground they've gained. Just Rez here. Now he's got support, but it's Config with the Deagle to try and battle back in with his comrade. And they still got responsibility from mid. Shifting up head trick allows them to focus in towards this fight. Raz makes good for 1. Config onto the space is going to be tough, and now they hear the Deagle as well, so they might be
Roland is on a massive flank.
Oh, this could be huge, but I don't know if it's fast enough. Config. Oh, dragging the focus. Now it's good. Now it's good. Prince is looking for this, and he had to get that kill. He had to do it, but now he's all on his lonesome, so he has to do so much more. That was only the first step. This has worked well for NIP in a tough spot. What can it go up to try and set him up to recover the C4? But that's the end of his utility. That's the last little bit, and he's hoping for some aggression back in, because otherwise, he knows this is an nigh on impossible ask, and there's even a gap in that smoke, so they don't really have to respect it. This is tough for Crims. What's he gonna have? Creeping forward, taking the edge. Alexi B is leaving, which feels...
I don't think they know they have bomb.
Well,
the angle. The angle's good.
All good.
Fnatic. So Roy is that was his own smoke up ramp. I call it the VP smoke. Not many others would. Most people call it, I guess, the sandbag smoke or the ramp smoke or something. But he's trying to play around the right side. He goes down. And Fnatic, they end up I'm not sure if they popped B or accelerated behind an entry, but nobody threw any deep nades. They had no generator smoke. They had you can smoke a bit deeper if you like and molly onto the construction bit, the window. They did none of that, so they got massively stalled out. If a smoke lands generator, I think they get the bomb down much earlier. They're not taking all these fights, especially against Headtrick when he can take those deep lines. I think Fnatic should be pausing. They're making a lot of... maybe basic errors is the wrong word, but they need to get on the same page. They need to get on the same page because there's been too many gaps.
Roland gonna take the same fight here. And around that smoke, he's got gaps under it. Roy this time not pushing, but Headtrick's gonna want to play the pixel angle and the sandbags on this smoke fade. And that could be dangerous if Roy moves a muscle. They're gonna boost up. They're gonna boost up for the peak. Nikoda's looking for it. Roy down for the count. Nikoda is falling off. They abandon it. And now with the man advantage, NIP are gonna be content to play further in towards the site. They don't need to play as aggressively though. Brolan always itching for a fight here. Still thinking about it. The young guns of Brolan and Headtrick, they both are just eager to duel.
Love that. Peek behind the nade smoke. And you're right. They're both incredibly aggressively tended. Head stack here, they're a little bit out of sync. Config shuffles a tad to the right, which is just below Alexi. I think Crims is a dead man. Surely he's a dead man and an...
No.
Oh, God. This...
Alexi.
If they were lined up, he never gets away with that. Why would you position yourself a meter off your teammate when you're above them? Or maybe they just weren't talking to each other? Such a basic error. That is... that's like a gold Nova mistake.
Don't know if mistakes or not. Let's see if they can recover. That's the first one for Brolan, playing the off angle. Damage onto the next, but Headtrick's still here. And he'll miss a shot. Uncharacteristic there. Bomb goes down. Well, we will have a retake on deck. This was looking like it should have been more comfortable for NIP. Fnatic making their way in towards the side hallway here. Lexi B. Can I have the duel? Can I have the first phase? Does he catch Fasher? Oh, he plays tucked. So they both miss each other. Now they're going to come onto the angle. Nico does first contact with the elevator player. But now he might be distracted. He's got two angles to look. He doesn't know which way to face. Flashbang on. And he's down for the count. Just in the nick of time for the defuse. They do need a kit to get it, though. But it should be around for NIP.
Composed retake in the end. Fnatic, they could have actually played into ramp, I guess, or around the sandbags area, but they chose to stick on the site and face, and maybe they had a little bit of a misread about where those CTs were retaking from, but it didn't help. Whilst NIP was slow, they were composed, they're playing together, peeking off the back of each other, so some really nice counter-strike from them. It was a great round. I mean, outside of the mid boost, it was a really nice round from NIP, and they are showing a lot of different looks. Rez alone faces, and he gets his head decapitated. That's something to think about.
I like this on the faster rounds. They're getting a lot more going. Roy gets it. Brolan's going to take advantage of the spacing, though. Roy, you can have the real estate. Brolan. Oh! Brolan. 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 Gotta find the bomb. There we go. Okay. And then he's gonna molly himself out of the position with the bomb. That's a little more unfortunate, but now he wants to go find Roy so that he can make sure that he's actually got the space free. And Roy somehow doesn't seem to know that he's here. That's a little bit of an interesting calm situation. Messi will bring back the bomb, knowing that Brolan has gone back up, but Brolan's done his work. He's found 2 kills. He's confirmed the location of the bomb. Now he can just shift up, and he can trust his teammates to play towards the site. Maybe. One-on-one duel here. Alexi facing with the pistol. He's pushed Messi off. And so a chance to reload, a chance to reset. Messi, 40 seconds, a Tech 9, and some C4. What's he got for us?
Well, he's making plenty of noise. Brolan may have heard that, and I guess he has because Alexi's on his way over. Rifle is recovered, but Mezzi needs to hit some stellar shots to even get a plant here. They have moments, Fnatic, in this game, where it feels like they're going to turn it around. They make these rounds compelling, but overall, outside of keeping NIP's money in check, they haven't done a lot on this T side. They have not done a lot. Pauses in as they're going to talk through some of these round failings and what is not quite oiled up correctly. Where are the mistakes? How are we losing so many early entries? They need to talk about ramp, don't they? Because the amount of rounds where they've thrown this smoke halfway up the ramp and NIP are fearless at just playing behind it. It might be prep. It might be really good prep, knowing the Fnatic never flash through, but what is the point in that smoke, Fnatic, if you're never going to play around it? You're just wasting utility.
It does feel like they're just giving a smoke to Brolan that he's loving. Round after round, right? He's exploited it far more than they've gained any advantage off of it. Interesting one, though. Fnatic. Spread out in this one. Holding for aggression mid, players bottom ramp. They haven't gone behind the smoke this time, and Brolan's checked for it, so he knows. He knows they're not up. They don't have to fear this at all. I think that's maybe one of the issues that Fnatic is encountering, right? Is that Brolan is so fearless in checking their bluffs that they just can never really sell the presence off of that smoke.
Ooh.
Pixel.
Okay,
Pixel.
that was too much.
And this time they get caught.
Yeah, there was. I think they're pressuring B a tad, Fnatic, but not necessarily enough that you'd have thought it was a heavy B lean. But that's been NIP's start to this half. You've got two players in Hedrick and Brolan, which love to get a little bit feisty, and this time they pushed the boundaries a little bit too far.
Alexi trades his life out off of a crazy flash. You got this position for Config. He might be trying to sell it. There's no presence here, but Crims is still concerned, still aware. Not aware enough. Uh-oh. But Nikodo is getting that kill on towards Rez means that it's still 3-on-1. Config in a little bit of a tough spot here. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna show for us? Flashbang over. Should be no world where he gets this. Nikodo's angle. But even so, it's just not gonna happen.
Far too much to ask of him. And of course, that aggression actually is looking really bad now, isn't it? Because I didn't realize how close money was to the brink for NIP. They're now full reset. This is double eco territory on 4 of the 5 players. Ooh. One lapse in judgment and it's completely ruined their economy. Fnatic can still make a very good go of this T side. Here comes that investment. Rez buying up some armor first. I think you got to let Brolan play. He's the only person with a gun. Got to let him try and make some moves. Got to. I mean, he loves playing on this ramp smoke, but if I'm Fnatic, maybe I expect that it's got to be Brolan to find an opening.
Brolan in towards mid, so this is definitely a position change up. It's interesting to me that they play, you know, the both of very aggressive players on towards a ramp that really want to push that boundary, they really want to take those fights. I mean, to be fair, naturally speaking, you would also look at Config as an aggressive player, but that hasn't really been the role he's occupied within this team. And
I think the most glaring thing about their positions is that you don't have an experienced vocal player to call ramp. I think that's the real absence. And of course they're playing their AWP ramp, which is probably 60-40 these days. The teams play either rifler there or always play their AWP there. So it could be Alexi and Brolan, and then Alexi of course would call it, but you've got two players that I mean, Brolan has played a lot of ramp. especially his time on Fnatic, but you don't necessarily have the biggest voices on this team, which you'd presume were Alexi, Config, and Rez around this area.
Swinging of Alexi. Oh, he's going to set up a pop flash. Broline, tuck to the crane. Here it comes. Here's that pop flash confirmation that our players are here, but Broline can't get anything. Head trick a little bit more in 25 seconds. Time is the issue here, Alan. The bomb needs to be planted, and they know it. 20 seconds. They've got some forward positioning, but if this is just a first play through for the Pistols, oh, they get the bomb down. That's a missed opportunity here for NIP. A flank now on, but it's being read. Fasher watching for it. With this, Fnatic are in a much better position to control it. If they kill Config, it's downright comfortable, and that's indeed what they've been able to do. Taps on the bomb, ineffective, can't do anything about that. And at this point, NIP's chances in this round are fading before our very eyes.
Oh, even some extra frags would be nice, but I don't think it's going to come the way of these remaining NIP players. Clean stuff from Fnatic. Rifle was dropped in the worst possible place, close up on the crane, and that could never get recovered and recycled onto more players. So all the stopping power from NIP was lost very fast, and the complexion of this half has changed dramatically now. This is going to be a heavy eco, and it's been a tough one for Fnatic, but they are getting quite a few rounds now under their belt. Certainly would expect 5, and they're also banking up a little bit of cash along the way because these have been a clean couple in a row.
Right. Get one. Broline with a cheeky angle. Can't do anything with it. Damage done, but damage, well, not exactly too compelling here. Config was getting cheeky, but he's eventually figured out, and that was the play. Fnatic ran into the stack, they dismantled it. There just wasn't much behind said stack, and, well, it's going to be a 5th round on the board for Fnatic. Nice recovery here into this half.
I'm waiting to see what call they go for in the following. So they've had pretty much exclusively defaults, be it 3A or I think they've done a lot of 2-1-2s and stuff like this. And they love just to throw this halfway ramp smoke and take it super slow. If they ever got a read on how NIP are playing the ramp and they went up 4 behind that smoke and flashed through, it would be a massacre. That flash would destroy NIP, so I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that call to come. See if someone can get the read.
Alan trying to telepathically brain that play into Mezzi's mind. But we'll see. The UK connection.
I imagine they're boot camping right now. I imagine they're in Poland.
Okay.
I don't know that for sure, but they normally boot camp in Poland. And given it's Showdown, which is online, and this is online, and you're about to play the RMRs, I don't see why you wouldn't be boot camping.
You don't know that. Your Messi tracker's not working. Aggression from Rez. It's at least traded 1 for 1, but not exactly the best look for NIP early on. And now Config under siege, and he's got to know it. He sticks around. This is bold. This is really bold, and they know how he likes to play, so the molly comes in to push him off. Deny that information, give them for the space to work.
He's got no help. They stayed 3 on A. There's nobody covering
they're
mid.
Fighting there.
Yeah, they're trying to aggressively fight A instead. And if Fnatic spot any more players here on A, it's going to be alarm bells ringing that there's going to be a lot of space elsewhere which can be claimed.
Alexi plays playing such a cheeky, committed angle as well.
I think he's just holding the pixel if you go into yellow, which is, if you're going up there, you're never going to be looking to your left. You're always looking towards the gap.
A little bit more aggressive on the face, and now they all just commit on forward. Needed something. It was desperation there as Config got found elsewhere as well. So that's a great round for Fnatic. Nothing saved through. No money really here for NIP and Fnatic. Meanwhile, just 1 round separates these teams.
Feeling a little bit better on my 2-0 prediction again. It was a bit of a rough start, guys. We might have lost in the first half, but we made a good comeback. It's been a bit of a bizarre game of Vertigo. I can't believe how many defaults it's been for Fnatic. But I guess when you keep claiming B entries, you're not scared to send numbers over. Fasher this time with the best spawn. Config hits the deck, and him and Rez have not had the best run of things for the last few.
Oh, fast play up. Rez catches this. Now this is getting a little more interesting. A lot of utility out, but it's not catching. Rez has to be careful about the panel spam, but he's away. And if they still want to go for this, which is it's very one-dimensional for Fnatic, they've abandoned that default early. This could be awkward. They're into the gauntlet. They're into the fray. The meat grinder of pistol players. Grimm's 1 for 1. And now into the smoke goes Head Trick, but they should know he was here, so it's caught as he goes through. Duel, when all is said and done, will favor the team with more firepower. Fnatic managed to make their way out of that stack.
Have you ever seen a more clear-cut example of brute forcing out a bomb site? Fnatic invested all their utility into that B hit, and that's why they didn't reverse. I bet if they had one more smoke, they would have cancelled and gone somewhere else. But they just felt like we have no choice. If we don't go now, we're so exposed trying to get the bomb towards a site elsewhere. And it actually, to come out of that with 3 alive when you're committing into 4 players is not a bad result in the end. Okay, Brolan. You heard that one.
Nice starter for a Head Trick. Roland gonna push off of it. So aggressive is he. Nikodos wants to make this happen with the rifle. Oh, this is gonna be so cheeky on the smoke fade. Nikodos playing anti-flash here. Roland backing off. Nikodos taking the space. They're never gonna expect this. Roy's the aggressive player. You don't expect Nikodos to be filling his role. And he's been given all this space. All this space. One found, can't get the second. Nikodos a little bit slow to figure that one out, but still good impact. Peels away the Opera, gives them something to build upon. And Messi's now picked up his comrades up, so they're juggling the guns, they're swapping things around. And on the aggression, Fasher might just catch this, he does indeed. Down to even numbers here for this final round. 35 seconds times the pressure, but it's a spread defense, right? One player towards mid, one player towards either site. And now the mid player gone means that both those side players are under threat. Lexi B gets the first, but the pinch is presumably going to be on in here. If Crims just accelerates, there's very little that Roland can do to help him out. And there's the kill. They know that's the site player. They know that's the bomb plant, all but guaranteed. Roland, what do you have for us? What do you have for us in the clutch? Bomb down, ticking away. Crims taking the deep angle in towards mid. Roland reads it. That's huge. Now he sets up the duel. Roland and Mezzi, the IGL, and the Prodigy, and it's the in-game leader who thinks his way through it. We'll be back after this break.
8-7, quite a recovery for Fnatic. Wasn't the perfect start to their offensive campaign, but now we switch the sides. Now we get into the groove. NIP, of course, selective Vertigo, so we're expecting some feisty strategies. Free in mid here from Fnatic. What a read. Julie's up close. If someone takes Roy's contact, this could be disastrous. Nikodos first called upon. Assassination. Crims gets the second, and they actually clear Roy. I can't believe this is actually an even scenario. Rerouting now as NIP gives up mid. And Fnatic have not taken space elsewhere despite seeing all those players in the mid vicinity. So far, so good for NIP. It's just Fasher here on the A-bomb site. Bit of a jump spot. Spots one player, falls back. Surely he's going to call for the cavalry, but there's no movement from his teammates just yet. Nikodos starting to slip his way over. As Fasher calls, I'm holding the side halls. You on front side, Nikodos. Smoke is good. So I sail off some angles. Molly takes Fasher back and choose to play behind it. Bomb is starting to be planted. And Head Trick's taking a little bit low. Now they can reposition for the after plant. And here it comes. Flashes over. Fasher on top. Players swinging through close. Mezzi on top of default. All three of these NIP players are just fighting from ramp. Tap is in. There's no kit for this CT side. It's going to be a lengthy stick, but these players are swinging. Brian up first. Collects one frag. Out of ammunition is Head Trick as he falls, and it's getting really messy, but the time is slipping further and further and further into NIP's favor. The trades are good, but ultimately, it goes the way of NIP.
There we go. That's a little bit of recovery, perhaps. NIP started out so strong in that first half that I'm sure they want to get back into the swing of things, having lost the grips on the control of this one. That's a nice way.
They won first
to get her
pistol,
going.
didn't they? I think they did. They must have won first pistol because they went up
They
early.
did. Yeah, no, they did.
It's very much needed in this game.
Res,
They lost a lot of those
everybody.
late gun rounds.
Yeah, there've been gaps. There've been gaps. I'm curious to see it on the T side, right? Because we did see some of what felt like miscoordination, maybe, which is unusual for a team's map pick. I mean, I'm thinking about that round where they just were double stacked mid and not actually in line with each other, but there were other moments where it didn't seem like everything was necessarily flowing in the same speed. And that's troubling. Fnatic, with the force buy here, will be looking to exploit any potential gaps. And Brolan, speaking of gaps, has found one. He's solo dolo, but he's about to make a lot of presence for one man with a MAC-10, and that's going to send his team funneling up B. No, they may be thinking about this. They might be going for the cancel. There's still time, and Crims flank. Oh, Crims. Crims, you cheeky veteran, you. He hears footsteps now. He's going to be able to get that kill. That's the bomb. Cost of a lot of health, and he will be cleaned back out, but still that shows a lot of discord into the ranks. They're going to try and regroup, move on towards A, and that means it's just Roy with a CZ to try and do something about this. Mezzi fast developing on the flank. Nikodos trying to come into support. Will be able to do so, though. He's smoked off. And the CZ fine. Oh my goodness, it can find a dink. Brolan, low. Can't be capitalized upon. Mezzi, what do you got? Nothing. And with that, the threat should be out of the round. Nikodos maybe just thinking about bailing out of here. And indeed he is. So a 9th round on for NIP, the lead reclaimed.
A little bit nervy for a second. This Crim's got in behind. Trades were good. NIP stabilize. Mezzi flank never came to a great deal. And they retake the lead. Next one's going to be a heavy eco. So NIP making good on these pistol rounds too with the conversions. They're very clean. I'll be happy with that. And as this half develops, I think I'm going to keep an eye on Alexi's cooling, see how the mid-rounding is. Because if you look at the team kind of on paper and from the outset, you'd say if they're going to have some errors in this team, it's not going to be individual. It's going to be with the communication, with the mid-rounding off the back of that, and can Alexi make these pieces work?
Lots of noise made in that approach up the side hall. They're not making a secret of it. Roland wants them to know. Now Nikodos, I mean, that's just a position check, and Nikodos gets caught on. It's another got ramp, and how quickly do they realize that there's really nothing here in defense? It's just pistols. Even if they move on mass for the retake, if you get cut off in the choke points, there's very little you can do with these.
They're just sending Brian in first. He's got the MP9. He's calling it, I can't see anything. Just give sandbags a clear, and then I don't think Fnatic can do anything to stop a bomb plant. They might try and Zerg it through on the tap, but up against rifles, gonna be tricky.
It's really the only possible that they have. Nade goes in. Okay, bit of damage onto Alexi. Kill found. 2 kills found. Alright. Okay. The round was never quite in doubt, but that is far more expensive than NIP would like. That 3 kills is a great result off of the back of a single HE.
Quite impressive. Quite impressive. And this is actually quite a lot to limit this. It would have been an excellent economy for NIP if they kept both the anti-ecos clean. And now they've brought back a tad in check. Orp out from the rip with Nikodos. He is going to start towards A. Nade's being thrown by Fasher. as Roy picks up the side-all side. I'm going to see what Nikodos chooses to do. He's going to peek further in. He's going to stick behind sandbags. How does Brolan even see Roy there?
Couldn't tell you. Off the back of that, Fnatic going to be able to hold control of A. Brolan still wants to threaten it, though. So one kill puts the doubt in their mind. He's going to freeze these players up. No one's playing mid. There's a lot of room for Config to operate if he takes advantage of it. And he's starting to shift around. But in doing that one kill from Crims, he feels he can focus a little bit more. And Res getting caught. This is going to start to put some doubts in their mind. Now, Config doesn't have the space, but we've got Nikodos maybe shifting back in. If he gains those sightlines, it's going to be much tougher for Config. Brolan can't capitalize. That was an opportunity. Opportunity missed, and bodies are dropping by the wayside. Config's activation way too late by this point. Fnatic are just looking, prepared for it, so it's just on the head trick. And I mean, this might just turn into a save from head trick. Winning the round in a 1v4 is a tough ask. Fasha's not giving him the fight he'd be looking for. If he found that kill, it's a sight. If that kill doesn't present itself, he knows somebody's waiting. Might as well just try and stay alive.
Saving feels like the best option. Config has money. Rez can buy for himself. A bit of looking, and they might actually start chasing after time. 6 seconds. Gotta stay alive here, Hedrick.
I think he's got the time on his side.
Got away with that. Got away with that. Very nice round from Fnatic. Claim a couple entries. There was that one moment where Nikodos picked up mid. Fasha was falling to play a retake, and he was super exposed to ramp. That's when Brolan swung. That was the real chance where the round could have flipped on his head, because that would have been an open A site. But fortunately for the NIP squad, Brolan couldn't quite connect. And I'm sure this pause has come in because they need to figure out the buy, because it's going to be a bit of jumbling around. Who's going to have the rifles? Who needs the utility? An important one for them, because they've got barely any loss bonus and no cash in the bank. Be quite the recession if they lose this round.
Oh, this is so committed. Now his position's known. He has to get out of there. Roy has to try and bail his comrade out. Damage is being done. These nades are going to continue to sail in, and Nikodos is a goner, so an even exchange so far. Roy couldn't keep him alive. Those are players here. What's the scaffolding? He's got the read. That's a nice bit of play. Config trying to punish him on the smoke fade, but doesn't find the timing, and Roy is away. Able to reset, so this early advantage is Fnatic's. They'll look to retake space, potentially towards the side hall, but for now they're content to wait. Put some air into this. Let an IP make the next move. And it is just a move up onto the site. Head trick, a miss there. It might not give him another fight. Certainly not one as easy as that. Flashbang off of it. Fasher punishes nicely. Done. Good bit of team play there. Roy setting up. Fasher executing. What do you have, Config? Brolan is barely a wisp in existence still. It's going to need to be Config to make something happen here, and there's been nothing to push Fnatic off these positions. Single flashbang, single smoke. Good luck, guys. There's 4 players here. They're all ready for this fight, and even as Mezzi shifts off, it barely weakens this defense. A triangle of doom. Bomb now dropped and committed, and Config caught dropping the smoke.
Massive round from Roy. And Fnatic there at the end. They were content to say, if somehow this bomb slips back to B, we're very happy to play a 4-on-2 retake. They just sat 4 on A there. And every possibility crossfired. The Sidehawk's retake nades from Crims was very valuable. I was a little bit scared they would give up too much information about how many players they had there on A, but NIP were so committed they couldn't turn back to B. They had no lurker to exploit that. So overall, worked out very well for Fnatic. And as I kind of brought up at the start of the previous round, it's not going to look good for the NIP economy. Should they lose it? Glarks across the board. Get the rattlesnake going.
Glarks! Glarks! It's the mating call of the dazed bird.
Is that a real bird?
Yeah. Scientific word, Samus marinus.
Right. Some new information.
Welcome to the Learning Channel. Comes play over. Roy, a little bit committed, but they've got no util to deal with him, so Roy just gonna feast here. Roy and Fasher needing to see who can rack up the most ecos, and only one can win. The head trick is the last prize. The most dangerous game. Man. Ecos.
One man and his Glock up against the world, and he's dead. What a disaster.
We'll need to wait for the rest for the sequel.
Well, NIP did some learning in that round. They found out what the word excruciating pain meant. As they were spread very evenly across the ramp.
I
pool
didn't
of their
think
own
that's
blood.
where you were going when you said spread after excruciating. Well, we'll move on here.
Let's,
Fasher has been looking a little snappy in these last few. I mean, he's top of the board for the team, but it's a very even kill distribution, so that doesn't really make the difference. I'm just enjoying how snappy he's been looking in defense of this A ramp. Good to see. He's a player who has had flashers, if you will. Bye, Rez.
Rez.
Goodbye, Rez. How are you alive? How are you alive? You shouldn't be alive. Oh my goodness, Config's actually going to kill, and they know where Messi is because Messi just dropped down. Config wants this. Config wants this. That may have been an overextension. And now the bodies are peeling back the other way, and Rez, I mean, but Rez is a ghost. Rez, if they conduct a little bit of a seance here, they might be able to hear comms from Rez, and Headtrick has just joined him next to the Afterlife. He might just be on his way there as well. He's got the bomb at least, but he's got 3 HP. A minute to play with. And right now, Fnatic are prepping the sage, the incense, a little bit of salt circles, because they're going to try and exercise this last remaining ghost of round 22. I almost called him the last remaining goat. Man.
A little bit early for you. We'll excuse it. Okay. Well, good recovery for Fnatic. I still don't understand how Rez survived that mortar strike. That was 2 mollies, 2 nades dunked on his head. And somehow
Built different.
didn't actually go down.
Built different, Alan.
Force field or something. Shield generators still up. If we've learned anything from sci-fi, take down the mothership guys and all the shields will drop. That's how you get them.
You gotta do a land assault in the AT-ATs, right? Take out the shield battery.
Exactly. Or fly one ship through that minuscule hole to the glaring, massive fault.
That's the
destroy everything.
Zelda boss school of engineering. Leave a giant glowing red point.
Of course, put in there by deliberately by someone working for the opposition. That's what Fnatic need. They need a double agent in NIP.
I mean, they might have one right now. They're in the lead, right? Despite losing pistols
Are we
in
gonna say
both halves.
Config?
Despite losing the leads in both halves. He would be the obvious candidate. Newest guy in, right? You always gotta suspect.
He's not having the best game.
But I mean, things are looking very good for Fnatic. Money behind them. They've had the recoveries, right, since the guns have come out. If you look at both halves and you remove the influence of the pistol rounds, you know, the first 3 rounds of the half, realistically, it's been very... Messi Gonna try and make it better. Smoke to cover his position. Crims. Okay, no, Mez is just gonna kill everyone. I was gonna say Crims puts him in a really tough spot because he doesn't see that first player getting across, but never mind. That's right.
Crims.
Mez is good
Crims.
for it.
Let him have the ace. Let him have the ace.
Especially after you let the guy pass.
Exactly. But there you have it. Brownie points of 1. He's the best player ever. UK Counter-Strike is back. All the memes. Your UK CS bingo card. Rattle it out. Full house for everybody.
He acts like these are memes when he's on broadcast, but if you catch him in the green room, every time Mezzi pulls off a clip, he fully believes this.
But you get the flip side. You get the suffering, the pain.
I do also get
the anguish, the frustration.
It is the secret of Counter-Strike broadcast is that the real content is watching people in the green room when the teams that they like are playing. That's the real joy. That's the real human theater and drama. Me win NA, you with UK. We got Maniac for Vitality. Yanko for G2. There's a lot of good ones. Maui getting roasted by everybody anytime Big is playing, even if they're winning.
Yeah, even with that lineup's completely different. Why not? Nobody, I say endpoint causes me.
Yeah, but
absolute suffering.
They do, but endpoint rarely makes it to events where you'd be in a green room.
That is true, and that's the biggest part. That's the biggest pain. They don't even make it.
Poor endpoint catching strays. This is their price for tagging you in all their socials.
Yeah. It's their price for letting neutral Matt veto. That's a year of abuse. Okay, Roy. Flash is there. He might catch Roy turning it. Broadline hard clears. Broadline hard clears. The flash actually was ineffective. And now we're speeding up. Flash is wide. Flash is wide. Head removed. Where's this trade from Yellow? It's just too late. Head trick. Almost got it. And Fasher is on an absolute tear. Look at him.
The timing. He's just feeling it now. Flow state is where he's at. And while Config will get one, the hail of bullets back the other way means he cannot hold on to the space at all. They've got everything working in their favor, but Config, what a time to maybe come alive. He doesn't expect the player cement, though. How would he? They killed the guy. They killed the guy. Cement and Mezzi, little beta-roo. Maybe sells out his teammate, but if he can make good, it's all going to be forgiven.
Nade.
One-on-one, Nade's there. Mezzi dodges the brunt of it, but he's down to 40. And Rez is going walkabout. Mezzi's reading it, though. Is Rez going to think he's repositioned? No. Mezzi, this is all going to come down to timing. Rez coming up for the cleanup. He's going to have it. He's not going to check. Hello. Mezzi staying stock still. Rez trying to think steps ahead. His streets behind.
Fnatic almost let that one slip. 4v2. And they make an aggressive call saying, let's all just fight ramp. We're feeling good. We're feeling confident. We found some kills here. And they actually walked straight into NIP. And they weren't really playing off each other all too well. So, slight lapse in concentration does let NIP back into the round. But I guess overall, no harm, no foul. They're still winning the rounds. They've still got a massive economic buffer. Roy is warming up. Mezzi's looking good. Fasher was a monster in the previous. Where's the gap in the defense?
I just need to remind everyone of a couple of things that makes this even more dire than it looks for NIP. This is their map pick. And also they won both pistols in the subsequent 3 rounds off of them. This was over in the first half. It was 7-2 at one point. Before you had 6 rounds to close the half. And then since the guns have come out here, there's been nothing for NIP. That kill from Config might be enough to propel them back forward, but they immediately lose Alexi B, so advantage still here for Fnatic. But they've lost the middle of the map. That's the problem. That's the difficulty. Bomb is still bottom fork, and it's been spotted and dropped. Okay, head trick giving that up now removes the danger potentially from this round. Fnatic can take control of that, can focus on defending the bomb itself. They can give up the sites. They don't need to hold them. And NIP, all this mid-control will be for naught if you have nothing to play around. Config just shatters his ankles. That will have been heard. And it means that Mezzi's coming right back into the fight, ready for it. Ready to tend. to his splintered ankles. Rez,
Good.
back up
This
the
is going to
ladder.
be a long save. This is going to be
Yep.
a long save. I thought they might commit really early to it with Config and Rez, because Config also hero AK'd, so he might be a little bit strapped for cash. Moving onwards, is Crim's going to catch? If he stays towards the very back of the platform... Oh, he just can't quite see the head. Oh! Almost, Crims. Almost.
$15 to 10 now. 15 to 10. That was the, I believe, 7th round in a row for Fnatic. Just need one more. See if they can make it 8. As your 2-0 prediction is looking very good, Alan.
Well, I was contractually obliged to make the prediction. Can never predict against Mezzi. That's the rules. That's how it works. Is Nikodos going to keep walking in mid? Alexi B. If he's going to get eked out when he's lining up the nades. Here comes the swing.
Oh, Nico on the angle. He's going to get one. Blinded up. So it's just 1-for-1. It's not a great exchange if you're Fnatic. Especially considering the amount of presence Config can now have in towards mid, but they're clearing back into him. They want this. Want this. Fasher's going to bring the fight right to him. Back up on the box. Now support. That's the flashbang to set it up. Did Config get away? He did. Far enough in towards the corner, but he's forced off the real estate. And that's the really important part here. Nice counter molly from Roy, but he can't stay alive. Forced out of the angle by the util. This is spicy, and now Config straight through mid. They're gonna cancel. They're gonna go B. Config's got all this control, and he's got the kill on a Messi as well. So here we go. NIP late to get involved in this half, late to get activated here, but this round, I mean, even with the amount of money that's been built up, this is a tough ask for Fnatic to go for. I suppose economic damage is probably worth risking their own rifles, but this is gonna be
Then up here
NIPs.
against 15, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. I think you just save. I was wondering if Crim was going to try and molly out the plants, but give it a bit of a look in, but he weren't feeling it. He weren't feeling it. That was the best T round for sure from NIP. I really enjoyed that. A lot of pressure across the map. Alexi be a bit salty that he's the one that goes down to the AWP when Nikodos was definitely aiming for Config. But all in all, trade was there. And we saw a lot of good communication from NIP. They see the players fighting mid, and they call over to Brolan. There's a lot of players here in mid. A is probably open. Brolan starts walking on A. Players start fighting back into A, and that's when Config knows he can make the move in mid. So some good communication, some good understanding of the macro positioning. And did you see that, Mike? Did you see what Roy just bought?
What did
He just bought a Bison. It's on the ground.
Love it. Love it. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Against armored opponents, you might as well bring a butter knife. Looks like bringing a fast duel here towards the ramp. Heavy commitment for both sides. Roy wants this aggression. He's kind of stuck. That Molotov means he's very stuck. They've spammed this before. But when IP clear this position again. Roll on! Oh no, doesn't realize it in time. The smoke works out, and Roy is away. That's theft, robbery, and a full escape, and a follow-up kill as well. So Fnatic right back to the early round winning ways, and now it's looking a bit desperate for NIP. Config has the space in mid. He's got Rez alongside him. This is a powerful position, but it is being held by Mezzi. And okay, Mezzi deleting.
Whoa!
And there we go. Config has just single-handedly ripped open this site and turned this round back around. This is going to be a tricky retake. I mean, 3-on-3, it's viable for sure. Basha passed the first choke point, but a smoke in to answer him. Molotov as well means that they're going to be able to secure this plant.
Save your nades, Basha. Save them. You can't fight here on the plant. Save them for the after plant. That molly would be so good on Dupree. But it's just been wasted. There is a smoke for Fasher, but... Oh, have they already made the call? Looks like it. Just going to be the save.
That one, I mean, that's Config.
Oh, yeah.
That's all Config.
It was the only move they could have made. They saw 2 to 3 ramp for Fnatic. They, of course, know that probably means someone's exposed towards mid or B. They start crawling mid. They get a lot of real estate without making any noise. And Mezzi's angle, with his left eye, but you'd normally expect it to be able to take a shot before you're dead. And Convict said no. Convict said, I'll have your heads on a platter. Thank you very much.
Well, now.
That should have been the game. That should have been it.
I mean, it absolutely should have been. They'll know that it's a missed opportunity, but this is the last timeout to be used by Fnatic. Right, they burned them all. So this is the words coming in. Kita saying, here's where we should have won that. Here's how we fix that. And here's how we do win that, guys. Come on. Come on, lads.
If they had just a tiny bit more B lobby information, they would have got the inkling and pushed in, but yeah, they were a bit sandwiched. Or if one player was just jiggling up on construction, that would have helped too. So we'll see if there's any changes to that B defense. No need to change anything over towards A. That looked pretty good.
Mezzi, there's a player danger panel, but oh, Mezzi, do you see the ankle? Do you see the ankle? He spots the head, he can't land the shot. Mezzi. He's on the first, but Crims is here, he spotted Rez getting around. He's waiting for this fight, give it to me, he says. Rez a little bit exposed, damage gonna be there, Nate's chase it. And they're ready, they're not waiting for that bomb to go down, they're into the retake before it happens. Vasha finds one, this is very awkward, they're dancing about, utility here. Oh, the kill's on for Head Trick. What do you got for us, Nikodos? What do you got for us? And the nades are good enough. The Molly, the Flames, the HEs. Goodbye, Nikodos, NIP. They've cracked the eco at this point. The money's starting to fade away. And there's only 2 more rounds before we talk overtime.
NIP getting in the heads. Of course, the last round was heavy mid. They've shown a lot of A rounds. Fnatic have been free A a lot of times, and this time it was just Mezzi on the B bomb site. Crim's a little bit of a way off, and once Mezzi's caught, well, we're just scrambling. We're just scrambling to cover off the rest of the bomb site. So I like the adaptation from NIP. Ahead of the game, knowing Fnatic would have to make a move to not allow mid to be open. So exposed. And despite the brawl, it was looking very, very good. This is just a half buy for Fnatic. So we should, in massive quotation marks, be geared up for going the distance. Crucial round for NIP just to stay calm. Good team play, good trading, and not allow any chances for Fnatic into one of these. Because earlier on, we saw how potent these pistols could be.
And here comes the move. Flashbang is good though. Roy's a dead man. Rez able to capitalize. Nikodos taking 2. Advantage though for NIP. Still some doubt in their minds, right? They're not going to want to react off of this too harshly. And if they leave ramp, there's a possibility where Crims could pick up a gun. Make something of that. Reroute through mid. Config's held on to this position. Now they're going to try and get activated with that bomb. All 3 moving in group. Means that it's just going to be Mezzi that they even possibly encounter. It's on the right spot. Oh, he's got the spot, not the crosshair placement though. And with that, this round should be just about done. A desperate attempt for Grims perhaps, but honestly, yeah, I think there's a world where he goes and gets a gun from ramp and takes into the next round. Not a world he's interested in living in.
He hasn't got great money. I think should heed your advice. And maybe now it's time to rethink it. What a recovery for NIP. The T side started so flat for them.
Yeah, I mean, it was 7 gun rounds in a row for Fnatic to get map point. And then
And then they go up 5-on-3 and lose it to the mid walk. Ooh, can't let that one stick in the minds. Last chance saloon then for Fnatic to get this done in regulation. It's been a heck of a game. Very much a roller coaster. NIP making great on those pistol rounds. And considering this their map pick, maybe we should have expected a little bit more out of them. They've still got a chance of overtime, and as we know, once you make it to overtime, that is a massive reset button. You've done it. You've survived the onslaught. And then we're back at square zero. Here we go then. Can Fnatic just squeak out their opponent's map pick and put themselves in an excellent position going on to overpass?
Fasher towards mid in this one. There's the peak early on. Alexi gonna get tagged up. Nades to chase. He's losing a lot of health off the back of it. And he'll be forced to give up the angle. This mid fight, this is huge. Fasher wins it. Config has been such a key piece of these last few rounds, and now he's down early. That removes that mid element. That removes that rotation. That's been the safety valve, the back away spot for NIP. So now pressure's on to these remaining four. Alexi down to half. Config gone. That ramps up the need for somebody else to step to the forefront. And right now, Fnatic, they're not going for their aggressive moves on towards A ramp. They're holding. They're a little more passive. They want to make NIP make the first step.
Reactionary counter-strike. They got a lot of utility here. They could go for a retake. They could just save it till they take contact. Nikodos is ready and waiting in the side halls. And Brolan, oh, is he going to peek? I thought he was for a second. But he thinks better of it. Yeah, bomb is here. Surely it's going to be an A ending. And here comes all that utility.
Here goes Wally to section off side hall, at least for the moment. That's ambitious from Nico, but it works. It works, and he gets the smoke down and confirmation on Headtrick's position. So this calls in the troops. This calls in the cavalry. It brings in Fasher to support. 30 seconds. Time starting to become an issue as well. NIP are going to be committed here, period. They just don't really have the chance anymore to bail out. So Flash is going to come over. That's all they've got remaining to work with. And the counter flash is good. Position taken. Headtrick can't even zero in that kill. It's all falling apart here. 15 seconds. They're running out of time. They're running out of chances. They're running out of lives. Res 1. But Headtrick now alone. 13 HP. And he is done for. A late run back for NIP. And we're back here, folks. Map 2 going live. Overpass. Fnatic do manage to close Vertigo. And that bodes very well for them here on Overpass. NIP, I think we need to see a lot more in the gun rounds. The pistols, effective. Everything else, not so much, Alan.
And let's also keep eyes if that trend continues. What happens if, God forbid, they lose both pistols? That could be real scary.
Could be.
Very scary. Brolan tucks himself into long toilets. Headtrick's coming over to help. And he'll need to help out his teammate because Brolan could quickly get trapped here.
Headtrick, long range. Here we go. Brolan going to come forward to have the same engagement as his teammate, but this is everybody. They might not be expecting everybody from Fnatic to be here. I think they've only really spotted the one. Brolan, here comes the swing. Gets the kill. Headtrick follows it up, and now this is looking very good. Timely flashbang here. Headtrick can't capitalize on that last. And so the possibility still exists that something's going to happen here, but it is a very battered Fnatic to try and bring this pistol round back into whack.
Bomb was spotted. That's why Alexi's now playing off B short a little bit, because he's confident that nobody is going to be super close. It'd be really nice if Fnatic could get these P250s and at least extend the range, or they can take a decent duel. Must be one around on the floor here somewhere. Smoke 2. Here we go. They need to take down Rez very quickly here. They can't allow another player to die.
Headshots are bust, pretty much. There's the headshot. There's the bust. So now right. He's the next to follow. So it was both. It wasn't headshots or bust. It was headshot and bust.
Yeah, we're not going to learn what happens yet. NIB don't win a pistol, nor convert it very likely, because I don't think Fnatic are going to be investing into this one. Nope. Heavy eco. That was really... That took a long time for those Fnatic players to kill Brolan in the long toilets. There's been a lot of missed shots. That just allowed... Headtrick could just take 3 fights. Just kept peeking. So... 1-2 punch worked all too well, and from there, very much we're going to struggle. One flash on Mr. Nikodos. If they do head in soon, it is only config on the site proper, so he could get a little bit isolated.
World where you get a bomb plant. Roy has now found contact, so if they were ever going to go, now would be the moment to go. Now would be the moment to go. There it is. There's the flashbang. Does it catch? No, not really. And counter utility is available here. Config still deleted. A little awkward, but Rez is able to bring this well under control. Money made.
Yeah, and collects the M4, so it's not a massive loss. Could even... I'd like to see an AWP here, I think, onto Head Trick. And that'd be excellent this sort of round. It's going to be Mr. Rez. Timeout for NIP. You'd assume this is more of a technical nature. You don't need to pause this early. First 2 rounds have gone pretty well. But, let's see what Rez buys. I'd really like him to drop the AWP, because it might be a tad unexpected too. There it is. Beautiful. It's really Fnatic's CT side where they come alive on overpass. So let's see just how strong the offense can be from them. It's never been bad, but it's their CT side that grants them such a high win percentage even against top teams. See if they've made any tweaks, any adjustments to bring it in line.
Boost. Boosty boost. Messi's been spotted. He doesn't know. How long do they maintain this? They're hoping for someone else to rotate in, and they're absolutely going to get it. There's Fasha spotted. An audio cue just went out, but they're going to be able to react in time. So this is working out for NIP. The boost very much what the doctor ordered, but Messi, he's got a double dose. Double dose of headshots. Bomb almost certainly going down here. Alexi B's position is going to become very impactful, but a late play out of the connector could leave him exposed. He's watching for it. Seems to have a read that Roy might be here, but this bomb, it's down. That's a huge kill to find for Alexi. Now they know the threat exists of construction. They can't comfortably move off the site. A smoke has to be committed to it. Head Trick in heaven. He could also looking for this duel. No one's watching Brolan just walk up the sidewalk, though, and Brolan will do it all himself.
That could not have gone any better.
No.
I thought Brolan was in water, in pit, just hiding, but he wasn't. He was creeping up bridge, completely unsighted. Nade, they had so many nades that they never needed to use, because the afterplant never got extended. Wow, all of Fnatic's, all of Messi's, I guess, work in particular, for nothing. Great pair of headshots. But the retake's too much, as Brolan exacts revenge on his former team.
Roy. For that fight early, Brolan might just give it to him. But it's Head Trick instead to catch the kill out towards long. So Roy, as a solo player towards the A side of the map, he's down, he's done, he's dusted. Fnatic looking to crack in towards this B site, but it's heavy defense here on Monster, right? You got 2 players just committed to it. You got Alexi B to support with util as well. This is a very strong setup for NIP.
Gotta catch config. Gotta win the first duel. It's not gonna be. The spray down is good. And now surely Alexi's all the nades in the world lined up. Flash is there. No chance for these guys. That setup worked to perfection in the end.
That's the ideal. I mean, really, it's probably just supposed to be, you know, a Rez and LXCB playing off of config. But if config just kills 2 before that even has to happen, I mean, it doesn't get much better. It really doesn't get much better if you're NIP.
I was a little scared the config was going to get caught in transition, because I think he was moving to the left side of Monster, but He made good on it. And Fnatic not getting a lot of bomb plants out of these last few rounds. This is going to be a half buy. Got a fair amount of nades. But only down to one smoke now after these default nades.
They've had one bomb plant, I believe.
Yeah, the one that Brolan retook.
Instantly. Let's see what they've got. That's a really nice bit of early aggression. Fasha just caught. That has the bomb as well, so that confirms things. It means they're going to be very comfortable keeping the 3 on. And meanwhile, these rifles are going to push the periphery. Brolan finds contact in towards the playground. Takes that kill, eliminates the options here for Fnatic, and again, NIP are just completely controlling this. Yes, this was just a force buy. Yes, this was just Tech9s, but it's the manner in which NIP are asserting themselves early on in these engagements that just limits what Fnatic can even consider doing. What do you do here as a coach if you're just getting bullied and not able to put your game plans into action here, Alan?
Well, they haven't run a default yet, which might be handy. What actually kind of happened on the last gun round is Roy was pressuring A so much because they wanted to hit B early with the remaining 4. They never got a window. They never went through the monster smoke. I think they just need to A default, take some map control off NIP and actually play an extended round. A couple kills here would also be very nice, but less and less and less likely by the second. And the most unlikely kill of all, perhaps, is the one that actually comes in.
Still one at this point. Hardly going to be something to cry over for NIP. They've got a little bit of cash flow. Just a smidge. Rifles out here. Timeout can be used early from Fnatic, as they need to start getting some impact on the board. Kita in their comms, talking this one through.
I'd be very surprised if it isn't some sort of A default. Some sort of play for map control. Could go double connector. But you do get to a point where you just feel frustrated because we haven't played out a standard round yet. I can whittle away a bit. There's an AWP on Nikodos, so that's pretty handy for holding any early A peaks or someone fast up long. And then when you get the map control, you can take long and hold angles and help work toilets. So it provides a lot of utility. And I think I'm on the money. Plenty of players leaning towards A at the start.
You know, one of the things that's been interesting as connector control has been fully taken here. We got a chance over in NA to talk to Semphis, the coach announced at one point. One of the things he mentioned is that with the RMR coming up, the way they've been practicing is he'd been limiting his involvement since with Val's rule set on the RMRs, the coaches can only talk during tax. So he had been trying to play like that, and I do wonder whether other teams boot camping, you know, ahead of the RMRs, obviously going to be the most important event on the calendar, whether they might be adopting a similar approach.
Did he say that for officials too?
Yeah, he was saying he was doing it for officials. Oh, peek in, head trick. Going to get caught. Finally, a little bit of a trade here. Rez still took Roy out of play, but a 1-for-1 is about as good as one of these has started for Fnatic.
Falling the AWP is also down. They're much less scared now to start contacting up Mezzy. Drop peaks, Brolan down, and now it's just Alexi. Shadow advantage is good. The flashbang from his teammate looks reasonably effective, but Mezzy comes out of it just in time. Bomb is planted. We've got a re-smoke as well. Gonna put behind defaults, how we move around. And these two still look like they're gonna give it a look in. There's a lot of money here. Crims is a long way off. There is a smoke for the bomb. Still a chance here for NIP.
Comfy get caught. Comfy's about to get caught. Alright, so clean sweep. Fnatic. It's a good way to get on the board. Obviously, there will be no issues for NIP investing back into this, but if you're going to do it, if you're going to break down a built-up defense, this is the way to start. So,
Gotta build behind it. Can't lose this one now. What is the call? What is the call, Mr. Mezzi? We going A again? We going to expect an A lean, perhaps, from NIP? And head elsewhere? Looks for the moment like a 2 connector. Nikodos is sprinting. This is so early. Hetrick is on the angle. Who's going to peek first?
Who flinches? Who gets a flash? Oh, Nikodos will get a tag, but Fasha's up the flank, and Brolan has no idea. Eyes glued up top. It's down below that he needs to worry about. That puts Hetrick in a bit of trouble. Has the shadow advantage, but the shot's baited out. That's a nice bit of micro from Roy, and now the kills come through. This is over. Realistically, the money's not there anymore for NIP. CT side, tough to maintain. And this bomb's going down. And Fnatic, what a way to explode into this game. Reminiscent of Vertigo now. They've got their feet under them. NIP can't allow another crazy round of rounds.
Likely asking each other, guys, why didn't we just go A earlier on? This is so much easier. We just walk right onto the bomb site there. Heads up, right in our crosshairs whenever we peek. But no. Nikodos probably should have died. But by virtue of staying alive, he took Hetrick off the angle. That's why Brolan readjusts. He's scared of players swinging up from balloons. And Fasha must have been incredibly silent in towards connector for a long time to get that timing. So, good mid-rounding. One missed shot from Hetrick onto Roy. Didn't really help, but I think he was going to get traded whatever happened. And Roy just carried on going. Sprinted in. Second collected. Red carpet rolled out. And Fnatic collected their Oscar right on the A-bomb site.
I'm now picturing Mezzi in a gown. Mezzi, who are you wearing today? Yeah, I think this is Razor. I actually don't know who Fnatic sponsors are.
I think it might be Gucci.
Wow, there you go.
I need to check because I know a funny one. I know that they got a clothing sponsor, and Crims wasn't super happy that you had to only wear the clothing sponsor in and around events.
Interesting.
Which I thought was very funny.
Crims wanted to wear furs and the blood of his enemy. They did not have that in stock.
ASOS is their lead sponsor. But ASOS is more of a kind of
You're just clad
mid-range sort of clothing.
I'm sure they'd make a
why
red
doesn't he
carpet
just
dress.
race the Viking? We need some horns, some wolf or bear skin or something, and the blood of his enemies.
Nice early pick there for Rez. That is just Roy. And here's the thing. You can see how comfortable NIP are holding on to this space, because when it's just Roy towards the side of the map early on, everybody's here towards Monster, and Brolan knows. Brolan is so very ready. Oh no, this is disaster for Fnatic. Pistols on the other side, and they just can't even see anybody. Nikodos is potentially about to be flanked out. Config's taken all of this space. This is disastrous. There's a path up connector, but that is the only viable path realistically in this round. Blue stuff from Brolan on the spot just in time, but Fasher a bit quicker on the trigger. Still, this is going to draw Config ever closer on the flank. They got to accelerate now. They got to accelerate. Otherwise, disaster might be on deck. They might have just gotten ahead of this. The kills are coming through. Fasher is recovering this, and at some point they're going to look behind. Config, he's so slow into this. Nikodos has an idea. Now he knows. Now he knows. Recovery is the name of the game here. Fasher and Nikodos are doing an incredible job of it. Nico gotta get the critical kill, and somehow, some way, Fnatic pull that out.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That should have been, as mentioned, a catastrophe.
It was a 5-on-2.
Fasher peeks B short, collects the first. He's boosted up in towards CT. ABC, whatever you want to call it. And then almost dies to a player in the crack angle in the pit. Comes back, kills him, collects another. Config Oh, 1 second earlier, and I think the flank works super well. Roland. Good flash. Nikodos hits the deck early on. So another entry for NIP, and this time especially given full weaponry. No mistakes. Cannot drop the ball again like we did last time.
Trying to bait a response. They're trying to bait something out, an overextension again to allow Fnatic back into this, but NIP aren't giving it to them this time. They maybe want a bit of a monster fight, but even then they're a bit timid about it. There's no flank being pushed here, right? They're sitting, letting the play develop. Got the advantage. You don't need to make the move. That's the way NIP feel.
When does Brolan activate? He's close long. He's starting to shift out now, and he sees everything. There's nobody here. At least towards the playground side of A. He's going to clear up this mid area out towards Divider. And Hetrick soon will get the gist and lean over with his teammates. 4 in defense. Fnatic need a miracle.
They're so stalled. 20 seconds. I mean, utility's not even that great. Now the initiative gets taken from the other side. The bomb's down. You can't win this on time. You can't win this on the clock alone. This round's over. It's all in the Crims, and he needs to die, and he will do so. That's disastrous. Fnatic, it's interesting to see, Alan, but when they go for these B plays, right, it feels like they're so stagnant. They get caught outside of B with 4 players, and if the lurk goes down on the other side of the map, they have nothing. They have no rotate. They have no control. It's just a very, very telegraphed play.
Some credit to Brolan. He did allot them that information, but you are right. There hasn't been any short explosions, which have if the 2 avenues onto B is the one that's always going to have less utility from the CT side onto it. So it's normally an open route. It's a harder fight, but at least you can get out. And well, the one round they did try to go through the Monster Smoke is when Brolan got the 2K with the 5-7. So yeah. I'm just surprised we're not having more AD faults. We keep doing these rounds where we leave Roy on his own to try and poke and prod, or maybe it's Nikodos. And they don't quite have the numbers to always get a trade or always have the utility. And the AD faults were their best rounds. Let's have more of them.
Looking for a duel here. Hetrick. Not quite going to have it, but they don't realize Brolan's out by the fountain. So Roy down again. Alexi B shutting things down in Con. This is looking very good for NIP now. Again, all of the early exchanges going the way of the Niñas. And at this point, what do you even do? Krems, Nico, you're both very isolated from each other. Basically operating as solo units. Again, NIP are being very cautious not to overextend here. They lose 2 2v5s in a map. Pretty sure DGL gets to whack them all with the stop peeking stick.
Going to take a lot of overfacing to turn this round back. Hetrick is the first. Ooh, Crims gets another. They know where config is, but they don't. I don't think they expect Alexis to still be here. They have to hard clear this. Knife is out for Crims, and that is a nightmare. Time is also a massive problem, even if this kill comes in. Surely not.
The money would matter, though. If more damage can come through, Nico, fumbling the util, config's up on top of the box. There's no way. There's no way at this point.
He's missing
and he's missing
here.
shots.
Yeah.
Panic in, Nikodos down. I mean, you cannot miss that many shots as a primary hopper. Oh, that hurts. That hurts the hearts of Fnatic fans everywhere.
It's getting grisly. A aggression from NIP. AWP is shown. Roy tries to swing to gain ground as the AWP falls back. He's not ready for a player fountain. Seeing too aggressive on A. Fnatic think that's probably everybody on A. So they're going to try and take space in connector. And that was the first round where NIP have played 3A. Alexi B was in connector and they were not ready whatsoever. So A lot of different looks from NIP and Fnatic. They're trying to be proactive, but they just cannot get a read on the CT side. Brolan has been endlessly aggressive on A and is yet, at least in the last few rounds, to be punished.
There's an opener again for NIP. Shown we're not expecting much from, but Hedge, it's good to have him fine in the first. "45 seconds ticking down on the clock. Time is going to be short again. They got no utility for this, so at some point they're just going to have to try and kick down the door with the guns. Seems like he's going to be towards A. They've shown presence.
Okay, I'm trying to boost him.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Send the pistols in first. Try and let Nikodos trade. It feels like the best chance you've got.
Up shot missed. Opportunity here, but they can't kill Brolan, and so opportunity is gone. And now the most important thing is maybe dying in a timely fashion.
Big round. Big round for Fnatic just to stabilize. I'm not surprised they're 3 pauses in now. After only 11 played, and of course some of those are the pistol and the eco, so not a great deal of gun rounds. Discussion is in. They can't keep losing early kills on A. It's just unsustainable. You'd be better off trying to force out something on B with 5 alive and hoping you get some luck with the flashes and the timings to be better than continual 4-on-5s. So we'll see what the move is. Do we go back to A? Do we go with more numbers? Do we just fake A a little bit and try and get out onto B in a good position? Tough choices for Mezzy. Of course, Keita will be chiming in that timeout, I'm sure. But we've got to change something. We've got to change the formula for sure.
Clock big. Finds an opener. Again, things just going the way. NIP Fasha gonna face. This is a boost up, ready to find him. Double man down, no control towards connector, no control outside of B. Another dire situation for Fnatic, and we're 30 seconds into the round. This has been just commanding from NIP, and if Brolan continues on this flank, he might just find the bomb. If that happens, it's game over. He's got it. He's got the C4.
No.
He's got the C4. He's about to have Mezzy as well. He is everything. He sees everything. Massive control. These positions for Roy and Nikodos, they do not matter. You can take the site as many times as you want. It's not going to change how this round plays out. And Nikodos is now the only one who could even do that. So they'll give him B. Say, guys, I've got B. Oh, guys, where did everybody go?
Where's the bomb?
What's happened? Oh no! Oh no! 1 kill. That starts a very, very, very long road to recovery, and I think with 30 seconds to walk down it, it's just not a possibility.
He's not going to know where to save because he knows they've lost all the T-spawn. Rez is here on angle, unchecked. And Fnatic take their pause, presumably talked about what wasn't working, and then go into probably the most decisive round yet. That is catastrophic. It looked like Crims was just full-on spammed. I don't know if he shedded any bullets through first, which, you know, alerted config of where to spray, perhaps. Fasha, door was blown on connector, and he walked straight up into the boost. Couldn't have started any worse that round and never got better.
Do you want to ask you, Alan, since I think we've got a little bit of time in this one, unless it's interesting suddenly. I feel like Yes, there have been mistakes for Fnatic. Yes, they're being pressured and flustered. We've had some misses and opportunities that went away. But to me, this half is much more about NIP being very impressive. I mean, even with the wobble of losing the 2v5, we've seen incredibly decisive play. We've seen a lot of map control exerted in most rounds. We've seen the initiative taken on the opening fights, and most of those duels won. I mean, this is not looking like the same NIP that we just watched on Vertigo.
Much more proactive. It's a map where, so of course well, actually it's a very good comparison because we've got the same A side players as Vertigo. Plays very differently to A ramp. Does A side overpass? There's a lot more opportunities. You're not going to get punished as easily. You can stay individually aggressive. It's just the Rifler or even the AWP, but more likely just Brolan. And it's worked a whole lot better. They haven't, there's, of course, on Vertigo, we saw some rounds where they overpushed the ramp and they got punished and they lose a lot of control. That hasn't happened yet. Brolan, I don't think Brolan has lost the duel aggressively on A yet. And Fnatic cannot live with him. They cannot live with him. Hedrick is there as a supporting element. Rez is killing everybody on B. It's a nightmare.
Absolutely is. Let's see if Fnatic can wake up from this nightmare. 5 rounds would be enough to make a game of it. But no more room for errors if that's what they're going to have. Flashbang's over. Headtrick looking for the early fight. Alexi B in towards Khan. Could be bringing the action. No damage just yet, which means that a lot could hinge on Alexi B. Molotov to chase him out. They hear the tick as well. Nade will be the little stinger on the end of it. But they know they've cleared out some space in towards connector. So now the element of the rotations can come into play. You get a lot less information for NIP. The first further back towards the site. You can see the adjustment. They're shifting back in that A play because they can't comfortably stay forward. They don't have vision towards long. They don't have vision con. And with that, they'll withdraw a little bit further into their shell.
Big changes this round for Fnatic. We had similar spread, but instead, Crims comes out into B short, make sure nobody's boosting. That's when Fashion starts going forward. A very slow A default in case there was aggression. So this is Fnatic's answer. Is going to slow down so much and be so clinical as to not allow any more easy opportunities. So thankfully, it kind of has worked. They've survived into the mid round, coming up to the late round with 5 alive. And NIP, right now, are leaning the wrong way. Only 2 on B.
Around Fasha, he's got one. Oh, and Roy, he didn't even have to see the player on the storm drain. Roy catches it. Was worried that was going to be an overlook, but as it is, the bomb's now going down, and NIP, they've got all the money in the world. Only 2 rounds to play in, so of course they're going to go for this retake, and Braun will start it off well. He's still so very lethal. The problem is they don't have the second element. Alexi B is around the world. He can't get involved in this by the time it matters. I don't believe he can even get involved by the time that
he is really trying.
This is brutal. They need the kills. They're running out of time. Broline down. That should end it. That should end the possibility here. Head trick posturing like he wants to back out. They're going to try and just keep the gun. They want to contain them towards the bomb. They want to make this as expensive as possible for Fnatic, and they've done a great job of that.
Okay. Well, NIP, probably the first time in the half, they've made a bit of a misread. They had 3 on A, and there wasn't a great deal of A pressure from Fnatic. Clearly expected. I guess Fnatic has lost a lot of B rounds, so can't entirely blame them, it happens. But Fnatic did choose the right avenue this time. Flashes were good, pathing was good. 2 NIP players absolutely blindsided by that number of offensive elements coming out of the B short area. And we get into round 15. 2-2-1 default from Fnatic. Only Brolan is on A, as it's NIP to switch gears. 4B start. I guess they really anticipated some B aggression coming out, but it's not to be. And we'll see how they adjust once they realize that A is ceding a lot of turf right now.
Very vulnerable. Alexi B's going to start to float, but no, he's sticking around for a little more panel spam. Thought he was going to shift already. they're confident. They're confident in this B setup, and I'm not quite sure what they've seen to make them so. Finally, Alexi B will shift up, but he was loath to give this up. To be fair, in these rounds where Fnatic stall for the first minute, it has frequently ended B. It's just not going to be the case this time. Timely aggression outside of Monster. Crims is just giving it the slip, though. Oh, who's going to catch who here?
Oh, the timing.
Crims shifting into construction. The Molotov's going to force him back, and that's going to be the key piece. So Headtrick's Molly is timely to get them that kill, and now they realize that was just the lurker. It's all in towards A. Fnatic need to accelerate before these rotations are solidified. And here comes the hit. First contact going to be so important. Brolon on top of the dice block. He is controlling everything. Phenomenal play continuing. And as he goes up, that might be a bit too much to ask, but it's just Nikodos now. And there's no world where he's bringing that round through. 11 rounds. NIP send us to the half. Pistol round on the cards here, and a pistol round that Fnatic really could use. Haven't had a whole lot of luck with those. Have they, Alan?
No. Day late and a dollar short every time. But this time, we've got 2 pairs of Julies.
Bloody.
One on Roge. He's going to go massive. He'll go massive on the retake. They're not coming soon.
I was going to say, no one's here.
I've read Crystal Ball, and there will be Julie kills.
Alright. But will they be from Crims or will they be from Roy?
Who can say?
Crims gets contact, and they realize that this means there's not likely to be anyone here. Alright, it's not going to be from Crims. Tell you that much. Asher now in a tough spot, wants to make sure he's not getting wrapped, and indeed he is. Roy's pushing the flank, but was he hurt? Config's here in Con. This position's gonna get very cheeky when we get into the late round. He hasn't had to reveal himself just yet, so they've completely discounted the possibility, and now the door opens, now they know, but that's gonna hold them up. Fnatic have to get into this retake quicker. But not. Headtrick, a big kill. Here's the dualies. Time for them to get activated. Roy finding kills. Needs it. And they're everywhere. Roy's just gonna stick this. Why not? There's not positioning for this fight. There's not positioning to get him off the defuse. They have to fight forward. And this is going to be a disaster. Oh, no. Fnatic. They just didn't plan for their post position.
Don't trust the tea leaves.
Sorry, NIP didn't.
Don't trust the tea leaves. I knew Roy was going to win the round, Mike. I just got it a bit off. It was from sticking in the bomb. From being committed.
I mean, look. Omens are hard to read. The spirits speak in mysterious ways. I understand. That's a tough one for NIP.
I guess we're debating a buy. I think they should. It's very strong on overpass. Get AKs out, walk mid perhaps, or contact B. It's pretty hard for the CDs to hold. They don't have the M4s in the right place. Here it comes, Headtrick. Toss that over to Brolan. Seems like the right man for the job, doesn't it? Maybe give another to Rez. That'd be nice too, I think.
He's not going to be able to get armor, though.
Okay, so Rez has dropped another. I think there's another on the ground. That goes to Config. Well, I guess you got it on your aggressive rifle, so it does make a fair amount of sense. And let's have a look. What do they choose to go in for? They'll know it's no AWP. That helps a lot with being favourable for some sort of contact. And they're both... Actually, Brolan's over towards B. It's just Config here on A. He's clearing this out. And is Brolan going to seek out a duel on B short? Surely he'd love to on this.
Crazy that they're leaving one of those rifles just solo dolo. But he's going to have a cheeky bit of positioning. Can control this, get information later on in. That might be able to activate off of it. Crips looks like he wants vision on the smoke fade, perhaps. But for now, he's just playing close to the tunnel in case they come through on a burst. Not going to have it just yet. Indecision for NIP. Run around in the playground.
They got time.
Sure,
I mean, Fnatic is so passive. It's not really a big deal. It's not that they're ceding any ground particularly. I think I just like to see these AKs in the same place. Try and work together. Headtrick is having a poke and a prod. And I think Roy is actually facing, so... I'll see if Headtrick can do some damage.
posturing with the MP9s. Here they go. Two in the same position. It's a strong spot. The SMGs, they shoot through you. Too many bullets down range at once. He just can't deal with that fire rate. And this one's fallen by the wayside. Alexi B alone. No armor. A bomb. 20 seconds. And in that time, he needs to find himself an honorable death, so that he can pass on. Exactly what he's going to try and do. Making a fast run of this. Just going to try and force out the plant. This would be a miracle. And it won't be one he's allowed.
Most important round of the map so far for Fnatic. So easy to slip up against those sort of buys. And they keep 5 alive in the end. NIP worked very, very hard to try and get a long-range duel, and they just couldn't pull one out. So in the end, they popped B. And in some senses, they took the only engagement where the MP9 might be favoured over an AK. Really up close. And I did well to avoid any flashes. And now they're feeling a lot more comfortable. It was a scary first half. It was brutal. They could never get any traction. By breaking the pistol around Goose Egg. Feeling a bit rosier.
A whole lot, yeah. Right finds the first. A good old rifle on Deagle fight. Gonna get another one, perhaps. Been on the clock, bomb shifting over towards B. NIP, they have a single remaining flashbang, so they might just go for an explode over monster type of play. See if they can't overwhelm these players. It's going to set up another opportunity for Crims to farm up some cash with that MP9. Opportunity I'm sure he's very eager for. And with 45 seconds and a smoke down as well, it's going to stall NIP out further. There's not going to be a lot of time when they do eventually go for this play. Not really sure there's a second option. I suppose if Ray got it, or Rez, sorry buddy, one of these players, got a kill instantly on towards A, maybe they'd consider the rotate, but even now, time's not there for it. Rez does get that kill, but they can't bail out, and the spot here means that these B players aren't going to flinch. Kill on, MP9 comes into activation, and this round is over. Rez can't even make any further noise. Crims makes himself some extra smackaroos.
Excellent. Start off for Fnatic. Here come the guns. Orb onto Nikodos. Yet to really get involved on the CT side, on the, well, both sides really, but in the match in general just yet. Roy, a player here for Fnatic. Yet again, another site where it's the same positions they played on Flames. So we should expect a good helping of synergy between Roy and Nikodos. They played a lot of maps in these spots.
Interesting smoke. It leaves a big old gap. I don't think it really does much of anything. I guess it blocks boost vision. Raz has been spotted here, taking a tiny bit of chip damage, but it's a heavy connector presence. And how long are Roy and Mezzi going to want to maintain this? Roland's going looking from down below. Roy gets the kill. That's a big one.
And there's nobody else on B. There's nobody else on B, so he just escapes. They might expect Mezzi. Mezzi's the rotator. So they might think Roy was the only player. Side of the map, the flash is good. Mezzi collects. There's nobody down bottom connector either to actually pinch him. Absolutely contained now, NIP. Look at the push for as well from Roy. He's deep T monster. Fnatic have loaded up this A bomb site and then some. Super strong defense.
And we got no time. It's a save. It's 10 seconds. They're not even going to go through with this. NIP are not going to go through with this, so they'll get a rinse repeat of this round, I suppose, but it's not exactly an ideal situation to be in, because two of your players, well, I guess they could actually just force around this. The loss bonus
I think they kind of need to, don't they? If it was 2 saves, you might sort of hang it out and say it's half by if you get a plant, but you got to. The problem is actually the head trick and Rez and Config can't get full nades. Config's only gonna have a flashbang. Thank God the others have got a fair helping of smokes. Last pause is in for NIP.
Yeah.
Last pause in a map where they smashed the CT side 11-4. So you can really tell this map has taken a swift turn since the half swap.
I think
big calls for Alexi. Really big calls.
It's all on him now, right? You're not going to be able to have that same input from DJL. So I think the big issue here is if they lose this, if Fnatic draw it up tie, you're not going to have that ability to pump the brakes anymore. It's all going to be about the mental. Deep Molotov just limits playground. That's working out very nicely. Funnels them in towards Mezzy. It's what he wanted. And he gets what he wanted. Oh, a duel here with the op. Nikodas comes out on top. Got to be careful not to get caught. He doesn't realize. He does not realize Config's so far out, but a reposition is timely. Doesn't necessarily have support, but as he withdraws in towards Con, doesn't necessarily need it either. And it's all falling apart. NIP getting nothing out of this force buy, getting nothing out of this round. They are on the back foot. They are massively stifled right off the rip. And for Fnatic, I mean, it's clean as can be. They've never even allowed a chance for NIP to shoot back, much less do damage. Here you go, Rez. Need a little bit of magic to make this happen, and they're not going to get it.
Did you see his Crims there scrambling to get an AK off the ground? Didn't quite make it.
Poor guy has been stuck on that MP9 for
He's not too
so
bad because now
many
he actually is it's a heavy eco now, so it's quite a good gun. But he's a little bit dejected. Pause from Fnatic?
That's interesting. Their last pause as well. Why? Why? Why?
They were 5 alive, right? So someone kind of ran off to the toilet. That's normally the normal reason. I don't know what's going on, Mike. They're just using them willy-nilly. This is not good RMR practice, using pauses like this.
Gentleman's agreement. No one pauses for the rest of this map.
Right. Well.
That's... Sure, fine, I guess. I'm very confused. If Fnatic get into a situation where they really needed a little extra time towards the end, we'll look back on this less than favorably. But so far, off the half, it's been 5 rounds. So, see if they can just keep it going here. Basher will try and do exactly that. To great effect. Bomb already found. This round looking disastrous, and he's away from the flashbang as well. So Lexi B can't catch that. The C4 can be retrieved, but nades are going to chase this out. Whittle down Lexi, and I mean, you've got nothing giving you any sort of edge into this round now. And Fasher wants it back. He wants that bomb. So now the utility's even gone. There's no more flashes to try and reclaim. There's just config for desperation's sake. And this is a non-starter. This is another round where nothing's doing for NIP, where they've got nothing to show us from this T side.
Don't say I didn't warn you that Fnatic favoured the CT side. They're very good at this CT side. Know exactly how to react. And the wheels have come off NIP. It's the same on Vertigo. Half flipped, they go onto the T side. That time they had pistol and conversion, which helped a lot. But they still lost a big chunk of rounds on Vertigo, so not the best appraisal yet of Alexi's calling. Not to say it's his fault, but he's the man best positioned to turn the tides. Fasher with 4. Individuals starting to warm up too for the Fnatic side. They got really low ADR given this game is about to be tied up. So, been a bit of a meat grinder. And onwards we go. Onwards we go. Brolan has to be your most powerful weapon. He's normally the spearhead. I think he still is towards A. And it's all about getting into good fights. Let Brolan go to work. That could be your avenue.
Let Brolan work. Put a tie on him. Give him a little bowler hat. Maybe a briefcase. Business, Brolan. Right. Aggressive here in the playground. Config. How gonna figure it out in time. Find the head as well. So an advantage here for NIP. Roy wanted to mix things up. Wanted to get hyper aggressive with it. And comes up worse for the wear. Connector control going to be the next object of intention here. Nikodas with the off. This is a tricky fight with that AWP. Pushing out a little bit of space, but the pinch is going to come in here, and he's down for the count. And now, Fnatic. Looking so good for so long, and not so much anymore.
Time to gamble, isn't it? Stack a sight. Maybe let one player get super aggressive. Mezzi's just jump spotting on A for now. And NIP are playing it right. They're not all 5 on one site. Config can either go early and try and get information, or he can wait. He's going to go in front. Molly is down. Mezzi has to win this, and he does not. Config claims A. NIP going to reverse.
They're headed into the
They're
reinforced
going to let him
site,
flank. They're going to let him flank instead.
Yeah, Config's going to have the Tarek opportunity, and I mean, there might just not be anyone left alive by the time this happens, so you hardly need the big play. You just need the most basic of kills, and they're bringing the bomb up. They're not even wasting their time with it. They're not even adding that element of risk. 15 seconds, but time enough to plant, and that's all that matters. For Fasher, damage is important, right? If he can find kills on towards this T side, he can limit that economy going forward. Lexi B doesn't want to give him it. He hears Fasher stomping around here, accelerating. Fasher on towards long. This is an interesting way to approach this. We'll have heard him for most of it. I think they should have a pretty good idea, and Hedrick is indeed coming to check. Not going to miss that. Not going to miss that opportunity. So, NIP around, much needed to keep Fnatic from closing this gap entirely, but there's more work to do. Business Brolan needs another day in the office.
Yeah, he's changed spots. He's now the B player, I think. Config is the A player. I'm pretty sure he would have played there for Astralis. Likely Complexity 2. On other maps, it looks like Config has not retained his spots in Astralis, so this is a bit of an outlier. Config and Brolan, very similar players on the T side. It's a bit of a role clash. Did Nikodas actually get a tag there, or was that the molly? Either way, 3A start from Fnatic. 2 loaded up in Connector. Nikodas taken off by the flashes, but there's still these 2 players in Connector, and when do they activate? When do they get in? Nikodas connects.
There you go, the isolate player, Config. Down, done, and dusted. That was a footstep from Roy.
This is really aggressive.
Pressure on, Roy's good for it. Roy's good for it, and now that's going to pull them back. And meanwhile, look at all this vision that Nikodas is gaining. Nobody's here. Oh, there's no world. There's no world. Oh, Nikodas! Nikodas! Too far forward. Too far forward. He gets chased down. He thought he had all the room in the world to rumble, but had no idea the late rotation was coming in. So now this gets weird. Push up from Con's still a risk. They can't rotate back towards B because they know the threat's up the ladder. Site 30 seconds. They don't have Alexi B with them. And with that kill found now, they know. Fnatic should know exactly where this is going to finish. 20 seconds. It almost seems like they're going to concede the plant. That's a possibility, though. Roy on the angle wants to deny, and they'll pay the price for it. Grims, does he want to test this? Distraction is there, but Rez is so good. He's not missing much right now. And a fight towards Bank will give them a position to defend from Fasher. At risk of getting caught. Make his way up the dumpster side, and he's going to be hunted down. Rez! Making it all happen here. Oh, and Nemezi. Such a strong position to play from in the post plant. Utility now to push him off of it. A counter made means they know he's not sticking. Mezzi just gonna try. The molly didn't actually land on it. Yeah, he keeps getting pulled off. They're not even peeking. He's getting baited away. He'll at least deny the ace to Rez, but he can't win the round. He cannot win the round. He'll make sure no guns get taken through. But it is going to be a round on the board for NIP.
Rez saves them. first kill onto Roy is magnificent. How does he kill Crims? You can see him, he just flicked off the need to look up to the stairs and somehow gets back before Crims can kill him. Or vice, or, you know, Crims can kill the bomb planter. Either way. Fnatic, a massive advantage. Nikodos, it's caught in transition. Maybe it'd be better to just to stick into long and just hold an angle onto Birthday and then just play off information. Fnatic could have sat on their laurels a little bit more. Nikodos has not had the best game so far. Misses the connection. Fortunately, Roy proving to be more potent. 5-on-4 now for Fnatic. But Nikodos and his teammate are opting to still stay aggressive. This could get scary.
Roy and Con, this is so tough. Nico can't get away. He knows it. He's up the creek, and now they're going to need a big play from Mezzy. And Mezzy...
Bomb.
Oh, that could be a problem, Alan. That could be a problem. Does Crims have vision on it? He does. He knows. He sees it. He hears these footsteps. Config. He's making all the noise in the world as he comes through. Still gets the kill. Config. Oh no. That could have been the round. Config had to win it, and he does.
Still could be. Still could be if it doesn't go long. Okay, good call from Config to understand the connector is open. I'm surprised Fasher hasn't activated already. Hedrick's holding. This is crumbling. It's absolutely crumbling.
I mean, at this point, Messi probably needs to consider the save. He's realized it just in the nick of time as well. He's looked at the money and said, yeah, can't do this. Can't do this. All this run back, it's all for naught. I mean, his last 2 rounds have been touch and go at best. Early advantages for Fnatic, but they can't capitalize. And I mean, you have to be so frustrated if you're Crims right now. That was the round. That was the round. If you kill Config, it's over. There's not enough time for NAP to do anything about it.
I was quite stunned by how aggressively Nikodos was fighting. That was 5-on-3 for a few brief seconds, and then Rez just swings up into Birthday. As Roy is trying to fall. I don't know. Something doesn't look right on that A-bomb side at the moment. Finding some kills, but the balance between being passive and aggressive, especially for Nikodos, it's not harmonious right now. Certainly not. And that bank account for Fnatic is gone. They had so much runway off the back of their streak of rounds, but this is last chance saloon. If you lose this without saves, you have a horrid bye up against 15 for NIP. Fnatic had this game in the palm of their hands in the early stage of the CD side, and they need to get back into that form.
All plucking. Nikodos not had the best of luck, and now he's going to back away. Problem as well this time is just that there's not going to be the same kind of utility to play with early on. They threw a toss out towards Fountain. They're a little limited. Roy and Nikodos. Couple smokes, couple flashes. Something to work with for sure.
You can see what getting punished in the previous has done to the A-site approach from Fnatic. So much more passive. Sitting all the way back. Nikodos holding in towards Divider from Toilets. He might give Toilets a little bit of a peek and is letting Roy jump spot. We're playing reactive Counter-Strike now. If they get any information, the inkling that there are numbers here on A, those B players will start to take some space.
I think Messi just went up heaven for a little bit of a look-see, and that might be him now leaning. Okay, so there are going to be 3 players here in defense if Messi can get through these choke point smokes, but they need a kill. They need a kill. There's one. Is that enough? I don't think so. And he could also overwhelm. No chance. Messi, a little late to get out here, might be able to do some further damage, but he's left exposed. This bomb's going down with 20 seconds left. This is a really tough retake to ask of Fnatic. Fasher attempts it. He gets his bell rung immediately. Crims now spotted. I mean, there's going to be no money. There's going to be no money to try and keep this into overtime. So Crims, he's going to try. He's going to try and be the hero. He's got a kit. No utility means he's just got to do it all with the guns. And as soon as he finds contact with Alexi B, that'll activate and they won't even need it. Alexi puts him down into the dirt. NIP 1 round away from closing this out.
Oh, They just can't get it right. Can't get it right. So much more passive on A. Mezzy is 2-3 seconds late on that rotate if he's up there and he's holding long. Roy commits into toilets. Him and Nikodos fight together into toilets on the split. But they were just caught in the headlights. They didn't know where to look. And neither of them could pick correctly in the end. Oh, the buy is just devastating. Crims commits for a molly. He's trying to take a duel. He's already down to 36. Got no rifles in play. Crims has already hit the deck and nobody's nearby. This is looking like a map 3.
Looking like it. Smelling like it. Feeling like it. Chances have existed for Fnatic to get back in, but they've been unable to seize them. And NIP solidifying in a big way. Ancient will be the decider if we get there. NIP just need 4 more kills. And they've made that possibility a reality.
Credit to Alexi. NIP have outmaneuvered Fnatic in these last 4, 5, 6 rounds. Nade onto Mezzy. Was that a nade stack? That's gotta hurt.
Doesn't exactly feel good. So now, I mean, wherever you go, it's not going to be too stiff of a defense, and you just know it. But they're still taking their time. 30 seconds left on the clock. Here comes the move. Seems like Monster's going to be the majority of this thrust, which means that you're going to need something from Nikodos' Deagle, and you're going to get nothing. Fasha's stuck with an MP9. I'll catch a kill. That'll give him an upgrade. That gives him something to fight from, but he's immediately erased. And while Roy did find the lurker, that just gives him an AK with which to attempt this retake. Bomb down, ticking away. No kit means that Roy needs to move. Smoked off in heaven. No chance to get out there. So Graffiti will be the attempt. Utility, it's there, but it's not really very helpful. He's just going to have to make the moves. Footstep on. An audio cue given away. Sets up head trick to seal. A retake's going to be a nightmare without nades. Yeah, there's 1 HE here. Good luck. The flashbang's rotating in, but this bomb's going to be down well before it comes through. A little bit of an open plant is risky. Brolan catches that through the smoke, so there's a body down early. Still not quite ready to believe in this retake, but it's certainly going to be a lot more interesting. If Fasha around the column, he's the only player actually on the site. He's got no support from Cave either. He's going to be able to clean out one, catching him dancing around the maple. May have just done enough damage, but it's getting so very expensive, so very costly here. Grim's late in the cave. A 1v1, time no longer possible. Brolan knows he's lost this, but he'd like that last kill, and he won't find it. Not sure he's gonna escape with his life either. Oh, just barely gets away with the rifle. So an expensive round for Fnatic, but a round they win nonetheless.
What's NIP gonna do? Because Brolan could drop an M4. I tried to buy some body armor. I think they're going to play more conservative. That was an excellent attempt. Excellent attempt for an NIP. They hear the plant. You could see Alexi with his HE grenade was lining up initially for behind the totem pole, this default plant. They hear it a bit off and they know it's the widest plant. Play on the 5-7 spams. Nade lands on top. That finishes off Mezzy. And the flashbang was pretty good too. Ail's going to be contested. Brolan with one lining up for Fasha. That was beautiful. Could have got really scary if any more kills came out of this A-Halls fight, but starting to stabilize now, Fnatic.
Not going to hit the cancel this time, so all the pistols are here. This could still get interesting, but there's just not a lot of firepower. Okay, it was just a check.
This is for the ace. This is for the ace.
Commit to it. Red's right there, and he's got it as well.
Of course, a couple of the players were heavily ecoing, but even so, those first few we met, there was a rifle in play there, and Fasha puts them into the dirt. Bai is in. Head trick. We spoke about him in a little bit of the preamble. I don't think he's necessarily been bad, but he hasn't been a force to be reckoned with. It's definitely been a res and a Brolan day so far. CT AWPing on this map, there's a lot of options. A lot of things can be presented. Mortar strike. from the T side. He's done so much damage. Look at Config. He's licking the wounds.
Well,
I'm stunned Alexi is playing a wide angle with his HP.
yeah. One running tap and he's gonzo. Just trying to get the Molotov down.
He must know there's nobody in the corner. Oh, and that is immensely risky.
Pays off for him. Utility down. Continue to exert presence here. It's going to slow things up for Fnatic, but now they seem like they might want to threaten to go through. There's not a lot of control here for Fnatic. They've been waiting out this early salvo for a long time.
Is Roy going to contest? These two B players have sat absolutely still. Roy's still scared of the jump up. 30 seconds and we haven't taken mid. We haven't taken Jaguar. All we have is the A halls.
It's not looking great.
Re-smoke on A. Bomb is not really sure where to go.
This is a fake. They're just trying to pull, and with Headtrick finding that kill, it's not going to be sold very well. Config's position's not revealed, so HP or no HP, it's going to be plenty. Nikodos is just backing out. He's saying cancel, but this time it's not to try and rotate and win the round, it's to try and save his gun. That's disastrous. And most importantly, perhaps, it's currently 5 alive for NIP, so they don't need to chase. They don't want to chase because this is going to be so much money flowing into their pockets.
In a round where Alexi and Config are taken ever so low at the start, nothing else transpires. Indecision, I guess, from Fnatic. They just keep respecting and respecting and respecting the mid nades until there's no time left. The B players didn't move. We didn't take Jaguar control. We didn't get... I guess Nikodos wasn't AWPing, but there was no avenue to get him up on the box and take some fights up to B. There was just no pressure. There was no pressure. There was no opportunity to push NIP around the map. One smoke onto the A tunnels at the end just ends the round. They've got to go through it. They haven't got time to do anything else, and it was all too easy for the defenders in the end.
The chirping of the parrots might be the only companion Fnatic need in this round because they've not gotten a lot of utility. It's Mezzy in mid who's tossing over a donut smoke. This is going to be explode out with the pistol. Config, what you got for us? We got damage. On to the first. Got a spot. A little bit of smoke for cover. Pressure on though. Config got support, and now it's looking alright. It's looking A-okay. Got to be careful not to get caught reloading. That's about the only remaining risk in this round.
Just a massacre. Absolute massacre. Because Nikodos had the armor and the AK and could just never engage.
That was a fun visual glitch. I don't know if you noticed it, Alan. But from my perspective, as Mezzy was firing outside of A main, his muzzle flash was up on tree. Which I don't think I've ever seen that before. I've seen that with the stickers, obviously, where the stickers hover in the view model. That's a GoTV bug.
I think I've seen it, but
I think it's a GoTV
normally
issue.
in front. Clearly something's up with the models being a bit out of sync or something.
Source 2 will fix
it. Yes,
Ah,
exactly.
jinx.
Exactly. Can we please have some Jaguar control?
No. They seem to be agnostic about its existence in the map right now. Oh, Alexi, that's too much. That's too much. You've gotten too comfortable. How is he not punished? How is he not punished? How do you not land a single bullet there? All right, at least Headtrick is caught outside of Donut, so there's something for Fnatic to work with, but it's instantly traded as Nikodos just tries to take the real estate. What is happening here? And now, nades in hand, Rez just kills 2. I think we set this up nicely in the pregame where we talked about it's going to be about who's making mistakes. Because Fnatic right now, it's so early in the game, but it feels like There's a lot of elements of panic at play here. Basher at least will catch that, but he's a lone wolf right now. And he's got a lot more culling to do if he's going to be able to get this herd down to size.
The crossfire is so good. Rez is low, but he's playing up conflict contact. Alexi can get activated the later this goes, because obviously the bomb has to be recovered. Rez gets out of dodge. And the flash is just perfect. Conflict collects. Ideal. 3 alive. Money is still blossoming for NIP, and you're right, Fnatic. I even said it before the game. I think they've shown the better team play, but not in that round. Nikodos gets one fair dues. He thinks there's a gap. He tries to capitalize, gets in towards connector, and Crims comes in behind. He's fumbling nades. He gets caught with that. Mezzi comes in 2 seconds later, and it's just enough time for Rez, even flashed up, to somehow make it a 3K. It is grisly. It is looking bad. It makes me happy to see Rez rifling. I never thought he was a terrible AWPer, or the concept was entirely flawed. The problem is, you're taking one of your best riflers, potentially your best rifler, off his preferred role. And it's nice to see him back where he belongs.
Been looking crispy in this series.
No doubt he's the MVP so far.
Yeah.
We
Maybe Brolon has a case for it,
yeah,
but
it's him or Brolon. You expect Roy to be the heaviest hitter, but he actually hasn't been a big force in this series.
This one's a non-starter.
Oh my lord. Another pause maybe, because this is getting out of control.
Look at the money. They got some moolah. Mezzi hasn't got a kill yet. That's not ideal. Nikodos not much impact either. Also concerning here. We're 7 rounds in. And this is a particularly tricky map to try and make those runbacks on once you get a stabilized CT side, which we well since have had. Nades dump mid. It's 3 HEs and a Molotov. All to try and take this space. They didn't find the damage they're looking for, and the Molotov's extinguished, so they are going to get a fight here. This could be really interesting. Config tucked in the corner. He needs to find some sort of damage, but it's head trick instead to get kills elsewhere. That's outside of Cave. Outside of Jaguar. And Crims has not been activated here in towards mid. It's late, so the mid players, they're out. They've escaped. Well done from NIP to avoid losing a body in that tucked corner.
They're doing a great job with this early utility on mid. I like that they're using, damaging utility. The nade stacks. It's not an area anymore that you can rely on smokes. Those nades just prevent any aggression. These players are going to slip into Alexi's line. It's a bit of a pixel angle on towards donut cross barrel short. It's spotted. Peeks out. 2 collected. He is trapped in this corner, but he's done a lot of damage already.
And that's very nice. Very nice from Rez. Once again, looking perfect here in towards Donut. So nothing doing again in a round for Fnatic. They're just running out of opportunities. I mean, we're still early, right? We're only 8 rounds in. But it's been a while since they made an impression in a round, much less won it.
Thank God they won pistol. Or this would be nightmare fuel. Come on, Fnatic, wake up, come on. They've had some weak T-sides in this series, but this is not good enough yet.
Here it goes. Fast play in, straight into the blender. First kill found. No damage out. Alexi B finds one back, but that's not good enough. Config getting activated. He drops the bomb. There it is. There's the cleanup. There's the piece they needed. And it's all going to be good. A little more expensive than you'd like, but the cash can more than bear the burden of a rebuy in. NIP happy to avoid the fast play.
That still might be Fnatic's best round for ages. That's just how sour the taste of Ancient on the offense has been for them. Okay, guns are out. Give us something. Something to grapple onto. An aggressive default. Take Jaguar control. Make NIP uncomfortable. Dictate the pace. That's the whole point of the T side. And it's been all NIP so far.
Config. Finds the one. Blind firing nearly takes down Roy as well, but he'll finally be cleaned up. And Messi, there you go. Way to crack on. Nikodol's trying to make something happen here. Might catch Config actually with utility out, but no, he can't quite chase it. Still, the mid position is so valuable. That's available for Fnatic. So how do they operate with this? It seems like the pinch is going to come towards B with Fasha's position here still on the B ramp. And Roy now shifting over to join them. Alexi B will have heard Roy. He will have heard Roy all the way through this. But Nikodol's in towards mid, still going to control those rotations. And that means everything has to be about Alexi. Unless... Oh, Alexi down for the count. Head trick. Plenty of money. He's going to risk this on the retake. 1v2. Time of the essence. But he's got everything to work with. And his contact with Roy. This is the first piece. Tag down to half. Now he wants nothing to do with it.
Well, that looked better. A little bit better. Roy takes down Brolan. Some decent trades in mid. Mezzi hit an absolute ripper around the inside of a smoke, straight up into the red room. And finally, Fnatic just wrangling some entries. Moving off the back of those. Okay. They just need to stabilize. Find some sort of traction. Something that's going to work. I'm not convinced that NIP are going to present quite the same opportunities as they did in the previous. So we'll see. Rez. Organ in play as well. Config checks mid. Sees nothing. Headtrick sees nothing on the donut cross. See if Config can lean B just in time.
Roland. Not getting a kill here. It's going to be about Alexi. Alexi does enough to make this a possibility, but through the smoke, Config is so ambitious. The flashbang's there, but the shots aren't. It sprays off, and now, I mean, there's a lot of retake utility, but it's a little bit late. They can't deny the bomb plant. They can't collect the kill off of it right on the smoke fade. Headtrick pulls the trigger a bit early. Fnatic have given themselves a real chance here into this round. A real opportunity. Roy going for the bold maneuver. The flank all the way around the world. If he finds his kill on Headtrick, that could be enough just to seal the deal. It certainly will be now. And he'll clean it up.
Still life left in them. Still life left in them. Finally calling the bluff of the B players. There are only two there for NIP. Maybe Fnatic is starting to realise that B is not heavily bolstered. The new one player is in cave because, of course, Alexi smoked deep in towards Jaguar. That's why they pop. First kill up on towards the long side of back lanes. Makes it all too easy to roll up and onto the site. Mezzi's got a Mac 10. Got to be a plan here. Could have had an AK.
Mez 10.
He's got a good spawn.
Faster play?
He's got a good spawn.
This might just be a fast A main rip.
He could be. I think he might go fast mid into Donut. That's really aggressive.
The nades will be there for NIP, so they have the answer for this. They've previously thrown 3 HEs into the elbow, so that would be ambitious. But yeah, it seems to be the answer. It seems to be what he's going to do. Just one nade here this time, and Mezzi actually dodges it. So he's out. He's passed. He knows he's got this room. It's all about Raz now. Rez will find contact, needs to chase, make him uncomfortable. The rest of the players need to activate now. They've got their opportunity. Mezzi's kept them under such pressure. What's the hesitation here for Fnatic? What are they waiting for? Now they've got contact. Now the position's revealed. They gotta go. They gotta go. Rez, it'll never be more uncomfortable for him. And indeed, he's down. They capitalize. Config, though, finds an angle at the cost of great personal injury. Keeps the numbers even. But Fnatic, they have such control here. NIP out of position. I don't know that they're going to want to go for this. And indeed, they're grouping. They're making a decision.
This Delta spawns are so strong. We've got donut control. We've got a resmoke from Mezzi that could go on towards CT. Molly's landing in. How do you get through this utility, let alone stick the bomb?
I mean, time's too short at this point. They're off. They're out of there. They're donezo. That's a huge round for Fnatic, and that... Oh, I mean, Mezzi doesn't even get a kill, but he wins the round for them. He doesn't even get a kill. Doesn't need to. That's a mastermind right there.
I still think he would have done better on the AK. It didn't look great. Oh well, no harm, no foul. Been quite the recovery. I mean, this was a nightmare for Fnatic after they lost the 6 in a row. Absolute nightmare. But they've recovered. The NIP bank is gone. It's the T side of Ancient, so anything after this is just the cherry on top. So maybe we counted them out a little bit too early. Fnatic still got some life left in them.
Crims wins that duel. Catches Config. That's a huge find. That would have determined so much of the control of what they can do. Now they activating towards B. It's just head trick. They have to deal with. This bomb is going to be down. And killing Crims might just set up the save here for NIP. It is crazy how quickly the fortunes have changed in this map. We had an NIP with all of the bank in the world, right? Going for every retake, going for every fight because they just had the cash to fall back onto. And now it's a very different story.
Fnatic seem to be making the right read now. The NIP are starting to be always. Started to get that inkling. And Crims does so much. The kill is massive onto Config. And it also holds Brolan. Brolan comes out of Jaguar. He might kill Crims, but it doesn't matter. Crims has won the round. Because he's ensured it's a solo B player at the time of the execute. It was just head trick. Fortunately, head trick couldn't get anything out of it. But even if he had found some frags, he was always going to get traded. There was repeat nades to go into the back lanes. It would have been a horrid retake for NIP, whatever would have happened. Pause is in, and I'm not surprised because after a stellar start, legendary bank account, they suddenly can't find a way to play anymore.
Well, a reframing of the engagements maybe needs to get underway. You're no longer playing with comfortable momentum with all the bang. Now we're the underdogs. Now we've been pushed back. There's only 2 rounds to try and capitalize on the defensive half in this map. And whatever happens here, I mean, Fnatic have already made a great showing of this.
Ooh, mid smoke is missed. Crims may not know it. He sees it now. He sees it now. He should realize, and he backs out. So at least he's not punished. But again, the B contact, we're creeping up. Nikos is holding Roy. Big entry. Head trick down. That's the AWP for Brolan. Playing wide. Fumbling with nades. He hits the deck. And this might have to be another save very early for NIP.
It's rinse and repeat for Fnatic, right? It feels like it took them a few rounds to figure out this weakness, but they found the soft spot. They found the glowing red eye. They found the ventilation shaft that blows up the Death Star, and it's fast plays in towards B. You've just got nothing. They show a little presence in mid. They force a little bit of respect there, and then boom, hit B. Overwhelm on the entry. It's almost like that fast pistol round where they almost had success, right? Where it had to be a massive res recovery. That was when the gears started turning, when the information started collating that they're like, oh, this is a soft site. We can bully this.
I'm just stunned there's no adjustment from NIP to play 3B.
Double up now.
Headtrick's played B quite a few times. That hasn't been the problem. I'd love to see a 3B start from them. Either
Won't
that
get it
or
this
aggro
time.
fight mid, perhaps.
Config cashing a lot of nade damage there. He's trying to play around the smoke. He's flirting with it. Mezzi will be past the Molotov. On the smoke bait. They don't know. They don't know. Oh, Mezzi realizes it in time. Nikodos is there as well to support his IGL. Now pressure on towards A. The change of pitch has come in from Fnatic. Perhaps at just the right moment. Head trick. He does collect one, but does the nade chase? Not quite. Not quite. And Alexi chiming in as well. Crims has a ton of positioning, but he's also heard a lot of noise. If they go B, there's no one here. But Nikodos is so wary of mid. Crims is going to push through. Oh my god, this could be everything. This could be everything. Even with Brolan shifting back into the defense, Crims, he's in the backlines. They have no idea. When does Alexi B process this? When does he realize it? It's going to draw them back towards A, which is maybe the wrong lesson to take. Crims. Spot in the first. The second as well. Not enough time for Hedrick to react, and they've got everything. They've got everything. The bomb is down. Crims has just ripped this round wide open, and Brolan with a FAMAS. No utility, no kit. Has to try a 1v3 retake. No information to boot. He'll give it an attempt. He'll give it a look. But right around the corner, he should be a dead man. Nikodos misses that opportunity. Crims down as well. What is happening here? And Roy's not in position. The bomb's not even planted for him. Roy, you need to accelerate back into Donut to have this secured. And Brolan, meanwhile, was looking for his opponent, so he has no idea. The position's been revealed, but the time's just not there. Brolan, unfortunately, cannot win this. What a hell of an attempt. But there's just no way. He just wants the final kill. He just wants to prove he could have done it with a kit and a bit more time. One more half to play, and we'll see one of these teams advance on to the final day of the IEM Dallas Closed qualifier. Loser here goes home, and so for NIP, after a hot start, 6 rounds in a row back the other way for Fnatic means that they are in trouble.
Eyes on the A push. Early aggression. Only configs on this side of the map, and he's having to juggle mid. A real matter of timing, and I think he just missed them. How does config get through? That is unbelievable.
Absurd. He plays the switcheroo. Should have been dead to rights, but instead, now he forces a rotation out from Fnatic, and they've only seen one man, but they have to radically shift up their plan into this. If config goes down there, even 1-for-1, then you get the elbow peek. They realize there's no presence in towards mid, and that B defense is so confident. Instead, you have 4 players waiting in the wings right outside of B, and you've got config just trying to figure out where anybody is. They've come back into the stack, but, well, now it's going to be wrong because config has the whole site, and he knows it. I think he just heard Nikodos as well, rotating in towards mid, and this is so comfortable for NIP now.
Absolute macro masterclass. Let res pressure be a little bit. Config takes all the space. We're rotating. Fnatic are massively out of position. There's no kit in play, and config is a menace. 4 found if he aces this pistol.
Give him the ace. Give it to him. Mezzi's going to give him a fight. Config can't quite close. But Mezzi, the chances here are limited, and Rez will burst fire him out of the round.
What a statement from config. What a statement. I stand by my initial assessment that Fnatic are the better team. They have better team play. But it doesn't matter if config does that to you. Have the best strats in the world. You just got absolutely ruined. Very slow. Silent approach from NIP into mid. They show the initial utility. They look cautious. They know what they're up against. You don't want to lose this round. Always was going to be an investment from Fnatic. And at the moment, seems to be banking a little bit on aggression, but it's not coming. Re-smoke comes in for the window area for the red room. And we'll see if they push in towards Donuts.
So slow. Into this. Minute on the clock now. It's all about this donut play. First one found. Second one found. Nice diagnosis by Dr. Alexi B. He's also a surgeon. Cuts out the offending part. Now this bomb will be planted and, well, that'll set up a healthy NIP bank.
Pretty ideal. Fnatic had the same on their offensive campaign, so even Stevens, kind of how we like it. We want it to come down to the gun rounds ultimately. And Fnatic just looking to save what little they have to at least try and limit the economy in the following. Mezzi's had a rough couple maps. I noticed at one point on Overpass, he had that 2k from the round they didn't win where he entered B and bottom retook them. He had another one onto A, we got a massive 3k. And he had 6 kills for so much of that game. So 5 of them came in 2 rounds and he just could not find any impact, and it seems to be roughly the same case here on Ancients.
Just feel like, I mean, I think this is true for a lot of in-game leaders, right? Where your personal performance and your calling kind of mirror each other. Where if you have a very good feel for the calling and everything's flowing, well, then you're in a situation where it's not going to be an issue. You can focus on your crosshair a little bit more. The calls are free flowing. If you're having to puzzle things out, if you're being stymied, if it's a bit of a contest, a bit of a chess match between the two sides, well then, that's where you're trying to think through, you're trying to process, you're trying to position your teammates, and maybe the individual prowess suffers a touch.
Very similar round for NIP. As they start to clear in towards Donut. Nobody here this time. We're going to sit in the smoke. Fnatic. Ollie goes behind them, and that makes the decision for them. Oh, now they know exactly where these NIP players are. These surely are dead men. There goes Nikodos.
I don't think they know about Roy.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
They can't
Shame he
activate
doesn't
in
have a better
time.
gun.
Yeah, and I think he's missed his window, brief as it was. Now in towards the site it goes. Roy will activate, but he's got to go quick. His teammates trying to hold up. Crim's even getting one there is a miracle, and now they're focused back on the flank. So Roy's surprise, it's gone. The element of it evaporated. And as soon as he swings this, he's a dead man. And so
Okay.
is Fasher.
Very clean start for NIP. They'll be happy. 2 Galils, 1 Mac 10, so the ideal investment here, but this is the way it goes. 9 apiece. Been a roller coaster of a game of Ancient so far. Fnatic looked out of it. They lost 6 on the trot on that first half. Got all the way up to 9 on the T side. And here we go. Loser is out. Only 7 rounds between them. And waving goodbye.
There we go. Mezzi getting activated here in Jag. DP's perhaps still a chance to be smoked down. Positional control, and there's further damage onto Alexi and Headcheck. So this is a good start for Fnatic. This is what they were looking for. And they're going to try and take some space in towards mid. They're not content to rest on their laurels. They want more information. And as Nikodos finds these sight lines, they've got quite a bit of it.
Kind of surprised Nikodos is sticking into mid because you can see nobody's down there. They had a flash clear from Roy to see nobody was close. Nikodos needs to get over towards B before these guys get crunched.
Roy is going to be in such a strong spot, though, because look at the bombs rotating. So now if the B main players shift alongside it, okay, Rez thinks better of it. Config has this position in A main, but the timing on that window peak is brutal. Now they know mid's not an option. Now they know so much control is here. Roy can fade back towards that A defense, because if they're going to rotate, they're going to have to go around the world. And now Config has been rebuffed. So everywhere that NIP try and poke and prod, they're just getting pushed off. They're getting shoved out. They're getting tossed out the club.
Save.
That's exactly what's happened here. It is going to be a save.
It's one of those rounds you just have no avenue. What are you supposed to do? Config trying to take space on A. If he gets 1 kill, Bomb might have ran back, but there was no way in. That is ideal for Fnatic. And yeah, I think you're right. I think, you know, Mezzi has not had the best day so far, but he plays potentially the most important position on this map as the Jaguar player. So now is the time. Now is the time to come alive, if any.
Counter-terrorists win.
Big first gun round for Fnatic. But still plenty of time for NIP to try and solve this. Took Fnatic a long time to figure it out on their own side. NIP maybe don't quite have that luxury because the game might just be done. So they want to get started quickly here. Heavy presence outside of B to start. A little bit of presence in towards mid. This mirrors a lot of Fnatic's rounds, but they've already lost a body. The off shot from Nico Dawes finds the first victim. I think that was the boost up onto the box for Headchick to try and open things. And look at this positioning in the smoke. Look at Roy. Oh, he's got one. He heard the drop down as well, I believe. He knows Config's here in the corner. They know he's here. And that means that Crims is going to be able to get that kill every day of the week. Great communication and coordination between Roy and Crims. So this is another round where you just have nothing. You have nothing for NIP. You have no control in mid. You have no avenue towards a round. You've just been smoked off as well. What do you even do? Walk the smoke. It's desperation. That's a pure desperation move. Alexi B with a Khalil is alone in the cave. And he's got no fire for warmth.
What a round. The synchronicity, as it were, between these mid players from Fnatic is just beautiful. They're so good at understanding each other, and the smoke lands at the perfect time. One gets the information, the other's covering their back. Roy's making a play, and Crims is always holding for someone coming off of the window area, the ledge from B. It is flawless thus far. Since the guns have come out, money is snapped for NIP. A bomb plant might have allowed one, but that never came through. Fast mid, but nobody out in the open from Fnatic to contest. They're very content to play passive and cede the ground over risking the jewels. Has pulled a lot of attention. 4 players from Fnatic were there focusing on mid, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like Mezzi has all the nades in the world to stall out B.
They're going to be under a decent amount of pressure here. And Rez is getting a lot of information, just hearing the noise, hearing the ticks, hearing the players. This is maybe the ideal approach. If they come out cave, there's a bit of a crossfire.
They know where he is. They know where Mezzi is.
Know where Nico is, certainly. That's going to be the first kill now. Mezzi under pressure. They're not clearing him just yet, but now they will. Uh-oh. Think's on. He's down. Done and dusted. The rallies are here, but they never expected Rez to be here this whole time. Now Roy is stuck. Crims needs to clear this. He needs to win this. They both are aware of each other, and Rez is just too good. Too good. The headshots come flowing for the Rez. Seals the deal. What a way to win a gun round.
He's been superlative today. He's been absolutely brilliant. Claims all the space in mid. B play comes in. Fnatic perhaps going to regret never taking information there. The B peak on the ramp from Mezzi gives of all the info NIP ever needed. The newer player was back lanes on the short side. The newer player had to be side because they hadn't crossed back through a cave angle. Oh, this is getting interesting. 2 in mid. There's no BA for Fnatic. And here comes Alexi.
Config. That's an opener. Again, looking good for NIP. Controlling towards mid. Under threat. That was the problem last round as well. So keep an eye on it. For now, it's being left open from both sides. It's going to be about this A fight straight up. Roy braves a Molotov to try and have some influence on this site. The flashbang's good, but he can't quite finish the kill. And in the meantime, the bomb has gone down. It's a tough spot for Fnatic. They're at a disadvantage. They don't have any control in towards mid, so Donut is not an option to them, and they're going to make the tough choice. They're going to back away.
Feels like the right one. Feels like the right one. I'm loving the mind games that are starting to come into play. Fnatic, 3B start, 2 in mid. A is left open, and now Fnatic is doing what, NIP are doing what Fnatic did to them in the first half, which is starting to make the read about this defense. Where are the gaps? Mid pressure applied, NIP never had the numbers over towards A, and to boot, Config still finds a kill all the way up here into connector on Crims. All tied up again. Fnatic did save. There will be a buy in the following. One of them could drop. They don't have great utility, but surely have to invest again behind this. Pause is in for Fnatic as they need to discuss where's the gap in the defense. What CT setup do we play? Do we start risking B and leaning more in towards mid? Some massive choices. And if you get it wrong, you're going home.
Timeout used. They're being more conservative with him this time around, though. Remember on Overpass, we were done with both teams' timeouts by this point. I think it was 11-9. The last one was 11-12, something like that. What do you got? What's the initiative taken, right? What's the maneuver here? Mid has been such a vulnerability for them. But last round, it wasn't even exploited. It was just the A play with the threat of mid. But look at this heavy lean. 3 players in. Utility sailing forth. They want to take this base. They want to claim it. And that's the rally. That's the change-up pitch for Fnatic. There's a focus in towards the elbow. Pressure on in now. With this position held, holding on to it once the smokes fade is the real question.
Both smokes already deployed from these mid players. And they need to make a choice. You can fight further into B, and that's going to be head trick holding. Roy down. Another man deficit. Scary for Fnatic.
Downright terrifying. And NIP still have a minute to play with, right? So they don't have any particular rush to make this happen just yet. Crims could be caught here. Oh, no. Trying to reposition, trying to shift around. Faster, though. The flashbang is so timely. It was Brolin's flash. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Little bit of miscoordination there. Little bit of a miscue. Big mistake, but Headtrick might have saved them. Headtrick might have bailed them out of this. That smoke. Is there an alley for...
Oh, the bomb was almost dropped.
There
the
was.
bomb was almost dropped.
Could have ended this round. Opportunity missed. Bomb's going to be planted. Now we get a 2-on-2 post plant. And again, the advantage swings in favor of NIP. Headtrick has gifted them renewed life into this round. And Roland in the corner. It's all going to be about him. He's got a chance to make good on his missed flash earlier. He takes it, and he takes both.
What a roller coaster. Crims can just not get impact at the moment in towards Donut. I'm guessing the flash from Brolan hit a T player. That's the most likely scenario. He might have released it also as they're taking the duel into Crims. Which obviously is going to change the pathing, and NIP players going to be moving around trying to win that fight. So not necessarily Brolan's fault. But they do recover. That space on B by his teammate. Lends the bomb over. Nikodos has missed a few sitters. That one was granted a lot more difficult. But if he does drop the bomb, that is awful for the Ninjas. Another pause for Fnatic. No surprises as we're getting to the absolute business end of Ancients. It's not their early round openings that are the problem. It's the mid rounding. It's getting caught in transition. NIP are so good at playing off of mid control. They don't always get it, but when they do have mid control, they do have space to work with. They are pushing Fnatic around the map.
And just on the adjustment from Fnatic, I mean, yes, they've just got pistols. It's a full stack, right? There's no mid control whatsoever. There's no attempt to influence mid control. And at least the early lean is a pretty good read for NIP. If they catch Crims, this round is over. Early smoke on. Does this tip them off? No. They'll respect it for now. Plenty of time to play with. And I think footsteps were heard from Mezzy, at least going for a bit of that window peek. So Config is aware that there might be a little bit of something going on. Some sort of shenanigans in B. And NIP want to adjust to deal with it. Look at how wary they are. All guns out. They are aware that this could have been a full push through the doors.
Fnatic just cannot get the right stack off. I understand why they stacked B at the start. It's been a lot of A splits. On this Ninja team, Conflict with the nade in hand. Shorty goes down. How does he get one? Make it two. Where's the trade? Oh my lord. Conflict had enough. He wants a flight to the States.
He really has taken over. I mean, it's wild. He was taking a backseat to his teammates through so much of this game, but here on Ancient, it's been the big rounds for Config. It's been the big plays for Config. You could always, what do you got for us? Nothing. You got nothing. One shot landed, far from enough to matter in this round. It's all Roy. And frankly, his $650 invested in a little Kevlar vest is more valuable than anything he's going to be able to do to affect the outcome of this round.
Well, we'll see the fruit of the Fnatic pause the following. Config has just been amazing. This is one of the maps where, at least on the T side, he's been given his Astralis spot. Astralis for a time were almost certainly the best team in the world on the T side of Ancient, and Config might have been the best player in the world on the T side of Ancient. He is unbelievably good at getting out mid, getting jewels, and since the spawns have changed, it only favors the T side player even more. When Config wants to get out mid, Fnatic can't live with him. They need to use the utility or just give it up. There's no middle ground here. You can't let Config get out and into a good fight.
Got so much space in towards middle now. They've devoted so much in terms of utility as well, though. But this triggers the fast B play, so it's going to be up to Fasha. Fasha and Mezzy. Utility's good so far. Fasha stole this out in a big way, but now he has to capitalize. Mezzy gets one. Mezzy gets two. Mezzy damage onto a third. Right there in the nick of time, and this time the defense holds. They got the bomb. They got the site. They've got everything they could possibly want to Fnatic. Now they just have a minute 15 to try and keep as many of these players alive as possible and still win the round. It was honestly a great call from NIP to go fast in towards
B. Oh, absolutely. They did nothing wrong. This is just a monster defense. Absolutely monster defense. Roy's just playing off Crimson's contact. Ooh. Okay, almost made it the double.
Config almost made us believe.
I think there's a case here for Hedrick to try for damage because he's just such low HP that doesn't really fancy himself. Yeah, it's definitely right that NIP, they see the mid fight, they see so many nades, it's probably a pretty easy free mid call once you're seeing all that damaging utility and stuff being thrown at the same time. They accelerate up the B ramp. Only Fasher is holding that way at the start. The counter flashes was so good from Fnatic. There's probably, 2-3 seconds of those guys just dabbing as they're running onto the bomb site. That's what allows Mezzy to get a good fight in the end. Roy shows up just in time. Just in time.
So here's my question to you, right? You took a pause. Obviously, the setup that you ran in this round was what you discussed during that pause. But you wind up winning the round, but NIP countered your play. Realistically, you're going to know that as well. You're going to know that you got maybe a little lucky and a lot of skill to bail you out of it. So now, how do you read into that? How do you adjust to the next step? If your
the real gap was A. The real gap was A on that round. Had NIP loaded up A with any numbers, they would have walked out, seeing all that mid presence. But they're choosing. I think they're actually running the same round. Exactly. The spam hits Config. Danger Man is out. Mezzy gets taken down. But honestly, that might be a worthwhile trade. Roland? He's going to keep going? Is Fasher ever going to expect this?
If Roland just goes out, Fasher's a dead man. Okay, Nukrados has shifted into defend. That's a huge. That's the adjustment. And now they smoked it off. Well, Brolan can just stay here. There's a lot of time left in this game. In
4B?
this round.
4B?
Wow. This is a commitment. This is a commitment.
4B?
If Rez just keeps walking forward, it's over.
Is this
What
a
play?
miscom?
I don't even think he made any noise.
This is abject madness.
I mean, now he's shown presence, but this is just to hold him here. This is just for the fake.
Why would you do this in a 4-on-4? 4-on-5, maybe there's a case. But 4-on-4? You're going to give up the A bomb site? Roland just has to buy time. And they might just have to save. They're going to lose 20 seconds just running to A.
He's done it. They also can't catch him. He's got mid. He's realizing mid is open. They've got this donut control. The bomb's just now being planted. This is a nightmare retake. This is a nightmare scenario. And your money's not good enough to deal with losing all 4 of these guns. Frankly, it's not good enough to deal with losing 1 of these guns. So Fasha needs to think long and hard about going for this fight. Wow.
It's pretty rare that I'm speechless. Pretty rare. Especially
You'll
in a
find the
game
words.
with players of this caliber. Why 4? Why 4? I mean, you can lean, you can play Nikodos sitting back on A with a really deep angle on the AWP, but to play 4? You got no information, you have to save as soon as the bomb gets anywhere near A. They're getting flustered. You don't see a decision like that very often.
We talked about it in the pregame, right? The series has been defined by the mistakes, the errors, the little lapses. They haven't been dramatic. Both teams have played some very good Counter-Strike most of the time. But the wobbles, that's been the story of the series so far, and that's a big wobble for Fnatic at an unfortunate time. They want to get back into this. Roy will deliver them an opener. Alexi B sticking around. Alexi B wants this on the smoke fade, and eventually he will get checked and spammed. I don't even know if he was sticking through or that was just a check, but either way, fast in towards A. They're trying to accelerate. That's a big kill from Headtrick. Damage done on the Brolan. This is still tough. Crims commits through, and now the man advantage is gone. Roy, the next fight here in towards the catacombs could be extremely costly, and he doesn't clear the corner. He doesn't clear the corner. Brolan wants it a step further. That step too far. But a 2-on-2 in the post plant. This is a great scenario for NIP.
They're a little bit
They don't
penned in,
have
though.
control donut.
They're a little bit penned in.
A bit. And Rez gets checked. All on the head trick. The new guy. The shiny Opper. The whiz kid. He's got to do it all. Found the first. Knows where Mezzi's coming from. Just has to not flinch. Mezzi has a kit, but he's not got time. Molly goes down. I think that seals the deal. No, it doesn't spread. Does he have time? He does. He does. Barely a second there. If that Molotov hits, Messi, well, he would have had a smoke, but still.
I mean, yeah, I don't think you can blame Headtrick. He's fumbling it because he's getting shot. Ooh, Fnatic. Fnatic surviving by the slimmest of margins. Crims is not a player. He's more of a passive player. He's gone through the smoke on a flashbang. That's a Stewie 2K sort of move. And he gets punished ever so much. Thank God Roy was ruinous on mid, but NIP are calling the bluff. They've realized that A is open for business. Numbers are over.
They've cracked the code. They've cracked the code. And with that kill, I mean, this is disastrous now. Bomb, it's just a matter of time till it goes down. Some damage done on the Rez and Brolan, but this is a big decision to make. And losing Mezzi might tip the scales. Config away in mid. Yes, Alexi B is lost. The health is abysmal, but most of this damage is unconfirmed. They're not going to know that they have Rez and Brolan low. The only player they know is Config. And they're bailing. Config finds the timing. That little extra twist of the knife. That little extra stinger on the end means Fnatic will have less to fight with into the next round. Series point is going to be on here for NIP. And the money for Fnatic, it's desperation.
Massive call from Alexi. Fast A play. Config out mid solo. He holds players. A is open for business. They missed. They fumbled a CT smoke, but it actually kind of helped because Hedrick got on the line and Fasher ran straight into it. from there just didn't have the numbers. They had to commit to a save, and well, Config barely allows Guns to survive. Nikonos has not had a great series. Never been activated here on Ancient. He's got to find impact. Or Fnatic are going home.
Well, they might be on. But they're not going on a trip. Is really the key here. Not getting a chance to eat some ribs. Have some barbecue.
It's going to be a horrid few days. All out of showdown. Not looking good here. And hardly the best setup for the RMRs either.
This might be the soft side again. We got three players
Fnatic,
in towards
they've
A,
just been
but
hammered so much on A. The conditioning is coming into play.
yeah. And Conflict's going to be able to control those rotations, but in towards B is where the real threat's going to come. Mezzi's committed. Mezzi's so committed. Molotov in here. Now he can't escape. Now he can't escape. They're clearing their corners. He's got one. He's got two. Mezzi comes up big, but switching guns. That'll catch him with his pants down still. 2 kills found there. Might just give them a chance into this. And Conflict's shifted up in towards mid, but look at the flank. Look at the flank. Alexi has no idea the bomb's dropped. Config, maybe he can do something about this, but it might just be too little too late. Stuck in the open, trying to recover the C4. He'll do no such thing, and here we go. Here's the answer. Here's the rallying cry through from Fnatic. Headtrick actually needs to hunt. There is no reason to save this. They will have money into the next round. That's not a concern. There's only one more round to play. But if you can take some guns away from Fnatic, even if you can't win this round in the next 13 seconds, which not a possibility, it's worth it.
Even fighting after time is worth it.
Yeah, this is a misread of the situation.
Full 30. Full 30 required. Mezzi, I mean, you're right. This is not the old Jaguar where there's a nice big corner for you to sit in. It's a tiny cubby. And he tucks and he tucks and he waits for the perfect time. He springs Brolan down. Trader, I think it was Reds, hits the deck too. Bomb is dropped. Information for Fnatic. They're already going for the A push, but they feel even more compelled with that information. Timeout in from NIP. That was the easy round. That was the lesser investment. There was FAMAS's, MP9s in the mix this time. Full weaponry, full utility. And only one chance to get this done before the end of regulation.
So where's the read into this one? I mean, again, I think they made the right read in the last. The calling has been so on point over and over and over, but you just had the big play from Mezzi. That's what it's been taking for Fnatic. They're getting outcalled. They're getting outplayed. They're just occasionally having these bursts that enable them to compete. Roy naded down to half. That's going to be rough. And it also tips them off that they're looking. Crims has been lost in towards mid. That's not how you wanted to start this round, Fnatic. As he back into his Jaguar shenanigans. But this time you'd imagine Brolan will be on high alert should it come through.
Laser in, Mezzi gives. Bikes out. Roy's in the open. He needs to get back before Brolan swings. And Brolan cannot take him down. Mid control seeded and Fnatic. They know players are out mid, but that's not excellent information. You don't know which way you're getting split just yet. Oof. Fnatic have to make an information play right now. They can't just sit on their laurels.
Oh, that's a big kill in towards mid. Takes out Config. He's been such a thorn in their
Mezzi's
side in other rounds.
Mezzi is so alone.
They need this Roy rotation to come through, but he's choked off. The choke points aren't there. No one's watching for the cubby. No one's clearing. No one's clearing. Mezzi gets to. Again, a huge play from the in-game leader when they needed it most. Still, this is going to be a retake, but as the smoke fades, Brolan tries to take the initiative, and Roy's ready. All in the head trick. What can you do, young gun? What can you do without the AWP as well? Facing up forward, the players come in cave. That would seal the deal. And indeed, it won't. It'll be Roy instead. We're going to overtime. We're going for more rounds here, Alan. Fnatic, they dig deep. And Mezzi, in particular, lights the way for more rounds.
That's 2 rounds. 2 rounds where Mezzi has been in what we often call a one-and-done position. And he's got 2 out of it. He's not forgot how to frag. He has not forgotten how to frag. He has saved Fnatic. Roy has had some massive rounds as it's gone late as well. Covering up for the misdoings of Nikodos. Crim's had a good T-side, but the CT side hasn't been great for him in towards Donut. But the other individuals are starting to step up. This series deserved overtime. Who's going to go further? Who's making it to Monday?
Let's get it. Now I think in OT, some of the focus has to be on this op duel. Nikodos has not hit much of anything this entire map. Catches an 8 in this one. Roy makes some noise, but he will be dropped. Alexi is low still. And look at this read from NIP. They're looking like they want to funnel in towards A. It's the soft site. You've got Fasher, though, up on the tree. But if they clear Fasher, the world is their oyster. Rez, he takes a dink, but he trades one back in turn. That is well worth the price of admission. So now man advantage. Bomb site lost. Bomb going down. They're even slow to rotate because they only did see Rez on that peak. Alexi B cleaned up on the flank, means this retake is going to be free to go. Here's the fight in towards Donut. Here's the contact. Flashbang is lethal and forces them to be stacked up. Braving the Molotov. Crim's taking the initiative here. He's a dead man, but this is all over. Mezzi cleans it up. The bomb can be defused. Fnatic find the first round of OT.
It's looking good for NIP after Rez decapitates. I believe it was Fasher up on the boost. They're just fumbling with quick switching and getting an AIDS out in towards Donut. They'd been gone out. It might have gone a little bit better, but that flashbang was brutal. As the Swedish Org, I guess they're both Swedish Org. As the Fnatic team made their way in. Okay, 16 acquired. Of course, 12.5k overtime money. Shouldn't really be a problem here for either team. So we should expect full buys throughout. Only the authors could face a problem, perhaps. And this mid-aggression has been amped and amped and amped. It was their best kind of opening on the CD side, and I'm not surprised that Crims and Roy are continually taking all this control and looking to force out fights.
Look at how much space is being left in towards mid, just trusting the elbow smoke.
They're going to have to push. They've got 3 here. You can't just sit on the site.
Yeah. Here comes the momentum. Rez ready for them. He's got the first. Clinical on it. It's just so good. The spray, a little bit wild. Tried to pre-fire it. Crims manipulates that nicely. Still, mid's conceded entirely. NIP, they devote some utility, but they could have had it for free. Never know that. But what they will know is that this is going to get real weird.
It's so good. Mezzi's holding mid.
He has to be the guy again. He has to be him. He has to be the guy. Johnny on the spot. He's got the one. Is he away? He survives somehow. And most importantly, gets the information that there's another player here. Smooth to isolate the fight. Fasher trying to get ahead of it. He's got the angle. And Nikodos finally getting something out of that AWP. This leaves Head Trick alone and Fnatic now. I mean, life is looking very grand indeed. Head Trick will try something, anything, but there's no world. And Fasher finishes him off.
Big round from Fnatic. Proactive. Pushing towards A. Nib made the right reaction. But Fnatic just about managed to adjust. If Nikodos doesn't get that kill on the ramp player, Mezzi is in a world of pain. Because he's such low HP. He's getting pinched from deep mid in through the window room, the red room. And also B-side proper. So thank God for Nikodos on that round. Final pause deployed from NIP. They know the importance of giving themselves some sort of breathing room. It's not the old ancient. It's not a done deal that the CD side is just going to be flawless when they have full investments. They've got to get something out of this T side. Huge call for Alexi. I think he's called an excellent game. Made a lot of good reads. Their mid-rounding has been nice. But Fnatic of late have just had that 5% more when it really mattered.
Look at the utility gap between the two sides. So much got committed early to the CT side that they just don't have much. It's one of the realities of Ancient. That is another smoke bled out. Decent damage, good information from Rez. He's trying to figure out where people are playing from. Well, this is going to shift things up for Fnatic. They move Roy around in to deal with mid. Ikudo's just peering for the B main boost up. How do you read this? I mean, it's mostly just been feints with utility, right? We haven't necessarily seen a whole lot of players actually engage into fights.
No, Fnatic is drained though. Oh, that molly. Just about doesn't spread. Donut control is taken. Fnatic are lacking some information, and Brolan could poke his way out at any time. Rez is in the same boat. Time is starting to dwindle. Make a decision, NIP.
Gonna have to go there. I mean, they've got so much presence here towards A, right? I think Brolan's mostly to sell a fake, and with the ball moving in towards Donut, that further confirms our suspicions. Here it goes, 20 seconds. Some kind of engagement is going to have to come through. Rez not finding success on his. Now they're focused back in towards Donut, and that's the bomb drop. That's the full commitment. Now they can go. 10 seconds. You need to get this bomb down. You don't have any control. You don't have any space to fight from. It's going to be 18 for Fnatic. They just need one more.
Monstrous defense. Absolutely monstrous. Oh my. Tall order for NIP. Tall order. Reminders, guys. In regulation, it was 90 rounds for both teams. That is not a good omen whatsoever. As we get into the second half of the first overtime, NIP backs up against the wall. No margin for error. And they need their individuals to be as good as ever. Rez and Brolan have been a tad quiet as of late. And they need to re-emerge on the server.
Brolan knows he's going to get pinched from either side. He knew it was just a matter of time. And he picks wrong. Can't escape that one. So an advantage found for Fnatic in what could be the last round of the series. Lexi B in the smoke, spam going around him. He's just going to try and play for the fade. This is so ambitious, but a resmoke in front of him might allow him to reposition.
It's unbelievably telegraphed. And Fnatic pull the ripcord, readjustment, configs committed into the right side. All on config.
Spots one, but the shots go wide. One kill found, two as well. Another big miss for Nikotas. Now pressure on towards the site. The bomb is going to go down. That I don't think can be denied. There's a Molotov on Rez, but he's not in an angle to throw it. So a 3-on-3 in the post plane. It all comes down to this. There's no nades for Fnatic. It's all just going to be about this duel. All going to be about these fights. And in towards mid, the first one starts. Head trick trying to come around the corner. Ducking his crosshair, though. Crims gets it. The savvy veteran giving a welcome to the young rookie. Rez, what can you do? What can you do here? He's been so good, but it might be coming to a shuddering halt here. Buying time, that's enough. There's a kit here, but they need to get on. They need to get on, and all this presence in Donut. Rez continuing to find frags. They have to stick it. They have to stick it if Roy can pull them off the bomb. It's over, and he can do no such thing.
No! Can you believe it? I thought they'd lost that on time just by... Alexi B was so late to getting into that retake.
Rez, man. Rez is so dang good.
Rez is a monster. He is a monster. And we're set to go on. Set to go on. Fnatic, man advantage, strong after plant positions, and they can't get it done.
I mean, there have been a lot of rounds where if Nikodos could hit a shot, the round would be over. But that off has been silent this entire, really, since the second half of play on this map. Maybe even, I mean, it's just been very little. Nikodos down again, no impact. Lexi B going to get 2 kills as well to follow it up. And this B play is a non-starter. They're getting nothing out of it. They're getting nothing out of it. They got positioning here for Crims, but he needs to do so much, and Rez will not allow that possibility. NIP gonna close this gap to just 1, unless Mezzi has the play of the absolute century here. He's not got it right now. Head Trick spots him, and Head Trick escorts him out of the server. One more chance.
Of course, the flip side of the Nikodos discussion as we came into the map was Head Trick. He's been okay, but not a force. That has changed. He's been excellent on the CT side, both in regulation and now in overtime. He's been dynamic, often over towards B, and to be frank, he seems a much more sure thing to connect with the bullets than Nikodos is at the moment. Last time out for Fnatic. Tension is palpable, big decisions to follow. Aggressive calls have been the majority of these overtime ones. Last time was a fast B. I don't think they're going to go for that again. Players are geared up looking towards mid. They got some decent mid spawns. Fast mid could be an option here. But what a scary call to make in this sort of moment.
Look at this mid utility from both sides. It's a bit of a feint. Neither side actually moves in for the aggressive control, but they both wanted to deny it. And Crims now is going to slide into the space that these nades have vacated. Fill the vacuum. A little bit of ground. But it's very far back for NIP. They don't want to give up anything early. So letting these early salvos of utility go out with no response from the CT side.
Oh, Nade might finish the job. Okay, doesn't quite go deep enough. Alexi survives. B callers in from Fnatic. 4 are here. Mezzi's going to throw some nadage in towards mid, but it's more of a ruse. And he's going to come up B to join his teammates. He's telegraphed again, Mike. Re-smoked onto ramp. Mezzi has to do something to pull presence away. There's 3 here in defense, and every second just grants more and more time to set up a stronger defense, surely.
Flashbang on. Head Trick backing away. Being pushed out of the cave angle. Ooh, he's got the first shot, though. Finds the gap. Finds the gap and exploits it. Maybe this is going to be a retake, but an advantage gain for your team. That's so huge. And Alexi B. Oh, he wanted more. Crims not having it. Sprays down both on the stack. Incredible play from Crims. Stepping up huge just when they need him. It's been impactful. They need a little bit more. So advantage for Fnatic. Utility dwindled. There's no smokes here for the CT side, and that's a big problem. Nikodos gonna have some chances. Gonna have some chances as they cross in towards the site. It's slim, but he likes this angle. And he's got a shot. There it is. There's a kill. That might just end it. All on a Head Trick now. And this